Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, California, and this is the Nerdrotic Nooner. Greetings, everybody. Hello, cheerio. What's up, dude, as we say in Southern California, or actually we go, sup, dude. What's up, brah? How's it going, everybody? And we have a lot of people in the chat today. Plenty of things to talk about, lots of Star Trek news. I am woefully behind on all my videos, so the Orville review will be out later tonight, and then the Doctor Who video has been pushed back to tomorrow, which essentially is kind of a rant, so I'm trying to edit it down to something a little more reasoned, but it's hard sometimes, especially with all the garbage that's going on in media these days, especially with Star Trek. How do you guys like that picture, by the way? I should bring that up for everybody just to marvel at if you're not looking at the thumbnail. Here we go. We'll take a look at our little friend, little Spocky and his emo hairdo. I mean, like, what is up with this haircut? Okay. Like, hey, I'm old. So, yeah, what the hell is up with this haircut? So Spock and his Screamo band are touring the galaxy. Murderous Spock, by the way, and by Fifi Spock. His Fifis are hurt by Michael Burnham, and it sent him on homicidal rage, probably some substance abuse. And of course, it was a bad father. It was Sarek's fault because he was supposed to be trained in the ways of logic. Also, I would say this is the first meeting of the People's Front, the logical People's Front. We are not the People's Front of Logic, by the way. Screw those guys. We are the logical People's Front. We are the logic extremists. And people who are not reasonable, we kill instantly. So, yeah, there's a lot of news today. There is confusion with the Picard series. We have Super Bowl trailers to talk about. Honestly, God, I only saw part of the Captain Marvel one. I just, you know what? I stopped watching it halfway through. It means nothing to me. The Avengers one was great, and we'll talk about that later. I don't care about the Sportsball anymore, so I didn't watch anything else. I didn't watch any commercials. I was too busy watching YouTube, to be honest with you. Watching my friends on YouTube. Yes, so we have some Picard series stuff. The canon, like, why do we even talk about canon anymore? I mean, it's just, they clearly don't care. I saw the teaser, the Super Bowl teaser, which was, what was it, like an X-ray of his ear or something? Is that what they really focused in on? Like the inside of his ear canal, or whatever the hell that was. And then we are told the untold tale of Spock. What, did he have earaches when he was a child? Is that what caused his nightmares? Jesus. Vulcan puberty or 5 o'clock shadow. Oh boy. Pecker Spock a la Doomcock. Yes, he is. It's something else. It's something else with there. And they put one of the greatest characters ever created in fiction in the hands of a dope. I'm sorry, but of just somebody who's not, does not have the talent to handle something like this. And he's going to eviscerate Spock. It's going to be a complete abomination. And yeah, I'm worried about this. Now, I also want to address the Drekkies. The Drekkies. So, like, they pop on once in a while on my Twitter, and I ignore half of them. I don't see half of it because you can't get through the Doctor Who people. Good luck, Drekkies. Bless your heart if you can get by the Doctor Who people who are tweeting at me. Some are very positive, and thank you very much to everybody who shouts us out. DJ D Show this morning gave us a shout out. Thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. Check out his channel. He's having a little hard time with the game this morning, but sorry to hear that. But yeah, Teen Wolf Spock, exactly. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so the Drekkies. I see. I'm gonna try to talk to you. Like, don't waste your time. Like, I'm not going to engage you. I'm not going to block you. I just simply don't care. I don't have time for Twitter. I'll talk to the people I like to talk to on Twitter, which is our wonderful followers and our subscribers. And by the way, if you're a member of our Patreon and I'm not following you, hit me up so I can follow you, because I want to try to at least follow everybody on the Patreon. I'll try to follow as many people as I can. But yeah, so I got one little comment saying that, by the way, they think this is, this hurts me in some way. So I'm being accused of being angry at Star Trek for profit and trying to bring attention to myself. Really? I'm glad to see your parents' $100,000 in student loans went to such a really amazing mind, an amazing mind. A gift for the obvious you have. Yes, I do YouTube for profit. And it's because these fine viewers give me super chats like Chris Persia. I don't profit from CBS or Disney or Marvel and never will. And I also don't praise a show on my free time. Actually, I do. That's not true. I praise Counterpart. I praise The Expanse. Nobody talks about that. So the vast majority of the shows we cover, we like. So, but Star Trek Discovery is that bad and needs to be pointed out. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Chris Persia. Are they going to say Picard had relationship problems because early in his life he was too emotionally scarred by Mikey Spock? Probably. I guarantee you this is what the Picard series is going to be. Picard is on his winery, grumpy old man, disillusioned, and he gets a young female helper who comes and helps him out about his day, and she renews his lease on life. She helps him see life in a whole different way. That's what it's going to be. Guaranteed. They're also going to base it a little bit on the comic book countdown, I've heard. But the news on that today is, well, let's get to it. So one of the executives at CBS All Access said in Variety a week ago that Picard was a limited series. Now, when it was first announced, I assumed it was a limited series. I had heard that, but then they said it was an ongoing series. But now it's planned for 3 seasons. I'm a little confused about this. So, let's read this together. And this is from the very impartial TrekMovie.com. Patrick Stewart says Star Trek Picard series is set up to run 3 series. But it's a miniseries. So basically they're running it up the flagpole to see who salutes possibly. Well, I imagine it will do well unless, it'll do well initially. The first episode will get a lot of eyes on it because of curiosity, the wow factor. The next new Star Trek series to premiere on CBS All Access will feature the return of Sir Patrick Stewart in a show focusing on the Star Trek The Next Generation character Jean-Luc Picard. The show is set to go into production this spring, and more details are emerging about the series from Patrick Stewart and the producers. Everything has aged in the new Picard show. Really? Wow. Again, Dick frickin' Tracy, man, these people. Yesterday, Patrick Stewart was on the London red carpet for the gala premiere of his latest film, The Kid Who Would Be King. By the way, I kind of want to see that movie, where he talked a bit about the upcoming Star Trek series. Speaking on the red carpet, Stewart talked about the show, how the show will approach the issue of aging. I'm sure it'll be very ageist. In returning to Star Trek later this year, the one thing that will be different about this version of Star Trek is we are simply moved the whole narrative 20 years from when I last wore Jean-Luc Picard's uniform, Star Trek Nemesis. So everything has aged. When the series gets released, you will see things in a very different, they keep saying this, you will see things are very different than they were, at least 25%. One detail that has previously emerged with regards to the show's setting is how it will deal with how Picard's life has been radically altered by the dissolution of the Romulan Empire following the events seen in the prime timeline portions of the 2009 Star Trek movie and the destruction of Romulus by supernova. And listen, the reason they're doing this is because Kurtzman is one of the few people in this world that loves his own work. Now, they don't really talk about it much in the 2009 movie, but as I stated before, in the comic book Countdown, which is available on Comixology, it's pretty cheap. And actually, it's a pretty good story, to be honest with you. I'll give you that. Picard is in that. He is, now I was wrong. He is the ambassador to Vulcan in the comic book. All right. And he plays a part in helping Spock get the red matter from the Vulcans. Unfortunately, it's too late. And Romulus bites it, which is, and this is going to cement the fact that Romulus is gone, which makes me, I would rather not see a Picard show than see Romulus remain gone, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. I don't think, man, I know the show. I know Star Trek Discovery has its defenders. Some of them you want to talk about for profit. We will talk about that later. Yeah, I'll continue. It gives me profound satisfaction to hear from people when an impact my role, what an impact my role and the series had on their lives. I have heard truly extraordinary stories about how people were affected by it. That makes me so proud of it all. Yeah. Although he's not watched every Star Trek episode, just from the Next Generation. I mean, I'm not saying he has to, but he hasn't. The Picard series has been described as both an ongoing series and a limited series. Right there. Last week, Stewart stated the show was planned to be highly serialized, saying it would be like a 10-hour movie. But he also noted there are hopes for additional season. So what is going on here, which I'm sure you smart people in the chat already know, is they're flooding everything with positive Star Trek information because this show has not been picked up for a third season. That is a fact. So yes, so my sources, one I've said I speak to on the phone, spoke to him today, and the other one through DMs. Now both have confirmed that it's up in the air. Here's my speculation beyond that. They're waiting for Spock to hit the screen. They want to see what the reaction is to their Spock story. There are more reshoots going on right now. That's what one of my sources says. Do I know for a fact? No, I'm not in the boardroom. I'm not there, but there are some reshoots going on. So he says that can mean a lot of things. That can mean they're wrapping things up or they're continuing stuff. They did that recently to Legion. Legion, they did some reshoots. They added an episode, and we also found out today, and I'll get to that, Legion is officially canceled, which really sucks. But they're going to get their last season. So we will talk about that, and I'll probably do a separate video. It's Simon Marino. Yeah. The response to it is, this is my one rare response to it, because I usually don't. I don't respond to other YouTubers. I don't really respond to Dreckies. So I'll just say I'm not going to block you. I'm not the blocking type. All right. Unless it gets like crazy. But yeah, if you want to say what you want, speak your mind, go ahead. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. And if you think you hurt any YouTuber by saying you do this for profit, well, go ahead again. Yeah, I do. I'm very fortunate to do this for profit. Believe me, I'm not getting rich off this. I'm making a lot less money than I was in my previous job at Tesla, but I'm having so much fun. And the other thing was, I hope you die mad. Well, my response to her is, I hope you die happy, surrounded by family members, and you had a good life. That's it. That's my response. So yeah, we're also going to go over an Orville article. It looks like the Orville's in good shape, folks. Now I know I've been digging around for some consolidated ratings, and there's a couple places that have them, but they're not the right ratings, especially the Wikipedia ratings. That's edited by other people. The Orville is going to get another tax credit, but when a show requires a tax credit, that's anytime you have a genre show, it's on the brink. Those things are expensive. Networks freaking hate them. Bruce Campbell was talking about this in his talk a few weeks ago. Movie studios and networks hate expensive stuff. So it's always on the brink. So we always need to watch it live. Now, the important thing you need to know about the Orville is, yes, it does very well on digital. I would imagine it probably does better in the 18. Well, it does do better in the 18 to 49 demo streaming. Problem is, most of its money is still made on overnight ratings. Okay. Now it makes money other places and that'll probably be fine. But if you really want your show to succeed, and I know this is, only old people do this, but try to watch your show in the first 3 days on a DVR or when it airs. And that way you'll guarantee that it's going to get it helps the advertising money. It helps everything. No, you can't do that with every show, but I would say pick one or two where you can try to do that or do what you want. It's fine. 25% less on Pete's coffee. That would be terrible. Can you tell I am freaking jacked up on coffee right now? I can barely talk. Yes, Legion. The show Legion has been canceled. We knew it was happening. The third season is going to be its last. And it's a great show. It's a great show. I know not everybody likes it, but the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey says, I don't block, I get blocked. Yeah, I've been blocked too. I'm actually blocked by a lot of comic book people because just simply who I follow, which I'm not going to change. I follow Ethan Van Sciver, and that gets me blocked by a lot of people, and I don't give a crap. That's fine. I don't want to. I mean, it's like, honestly, it's doing me a favor. So I see a lot less of the garbage than a lot of people see. Yes. So yeah, Susan is saying here, correct. Good job mentioning the +3, +5. So yeah, consolidated ratings are great, but here in America, because we're ass backwards, and I'm not saying this is good, it's stupid. There's still an emphasis put on the overnights. That's what got The Expanse canceled. The Expanse was getting plenty of ratings when it came to streaming, enough to keep it around. But their contract was loaded to the overnight stuff, which was dumb. Let me get to a couple super chats there, and then we'll get to the other Star Trek article. I hope everybody's having a great day. And, I don't want anybody to die mad. Not even Alex Kurtzman. I'd like Alex Kurtzman to get a nice, severance package where he can go off to an island and write bad fan fiction all on his own, make some independent movies. I want him to be happy, just away from Star Trek. That's all. Chris Persia, again, thank you for the $5 Canadian super chat. I do appreciate you, my friend. Brent Newman, £5. Gary, they mean Picard set up to run 3 seasons motel after disaster of premiere. 3 seasons motel. Yo, that would be funny. Picard running a galactic hotel, and it could be like a Love Boat or something like that. That would actually be, I'd actually watch that. As long as it wasn't written by Kurtzman. God, there's so many other good people out there. Sean Pullen, whoa, Sean, that is a lot of scratch, my friend. 100 Canadian dollars. Canadian dollars are worth more than American dollars right now. Wow. Holy shit. First time supporter. Enjoy Nerdrotic /disco possible. If open, why is Klingon baby head not Trek? In The Next Generation, a parasite crawls into a man's mouth. Picard phaser flaws his face into while his head explodes and an alien wriggles around in his gaping chest cavity. A severed head is not Trek when you're trying to bring back fans to the hopefulness of Trek. You can do it sometimes, sure. But what you're trying to do is reestablish yourself as Trek, because before it wasn't Trek. A severed baby head is Game of Thrones. That's what this show's trying to be. So thank you, but I disagree. At this point, we are trying to bring fans back, and I'm using their own words. That's why I put up that article. Is Star Trek Discovery is teaching us to hope again, but in the 3rd episode, they chop off a baby's head. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't belong in Star Trek. I'm not saying Star Trek hasn't always been a little scary, because it used to scare me when I was a little kid. So that's fine. It's for adults. That was my whole freaking point. Star Trek, this isn't a kid show, but you're trying to bring fans back. That's what they were saying. You know what you do? You pump the brakes. You dial it back a little bit. What is every critic, even the people who praise this show, Sean, what have they been saying in their reviews? I've read them all. And almost every single one, even the ones who were praising the episode, said this was a step back. And it was. It was an absolute step back. I will admit that the show still sucks, but the first 2 episodes were much better than anything from season 1. It's still unwatchable, and the reason it's unwatchable is because the main character is not written well or performed well. Simply, that's it. I could work with anything else. Like, they've ruined Tilly. I never liked Tilly, but some people did. I think she's completely annoying. I like Doug Jones. I hate seeing Doug Jones in this because he's the only one who comes, like, every episode. He is the best. Always. Anson Mount should be a good addition. The problem is he's the captain asking everybody's permission or being told everything is okay. He's the insecure captain. And the reason, we know there's a reason for that. They feel guilty for bringing in a white male because they probably didn't want to do that. Because if you watch the Star Trek Discovery Season 1 special features, Sonequa Martin Green points out they specifically did not want to do that. She says it in so many words. As a matter of fact, I'll make a video about it, and I'll show you where she says that. I've already done a review on the review, but we can talk about her just specific interview because it says a lot. I know she just has a different worldview than I do, but don't we all? So yes, there has been scary stuff in there before, but it also was wrapped around a show that felt like Trek. So you're saying, if we're talking about the severed baby head just alone, well, if you couple that with season 1, where we're mushing a Klingon into a human suit after he's essentially tortured, and what was L'Rell having sex with him when he was a human, or was it when he was Vok, or after the change, before the change? Were they doing that? Was she having sex with him while she was torturing? Was she having sex with Tyler while she was torturing him? Because they insinuated that. So, and by the way, L'Rell's supposed to be the nice one now. Strawberry Hellcat, $10. Another reason to bolt from Patreon. Yeah, I was going to get to this. Patreon payments are late this month. CNBC articles state that the site will begin payday loan type advance payments for an extra fee to get your own money on time. Agreed. I will show you the email I got from Patreon today. Now, I have Patreon obligations to fill, which I fully plan to do. But I have to say, in the future, what I'm probably going to end up doing is moving everything to nerdrotic.com, where you can just have a subscription service there. I'll even make it cheaper. So, I don't know if they're going to allow me. The only restriction is we're going to have to do it through PayPal. I'm going to try to find something else, but I'm sticking with it for the time being. But when paying somebody late that means they didn't have the money. Okay. Flat out. They didn't have the money to pay these people. Why not? That's something that needs to be addressed. Why would it take 5 to 6 days to process payments? That's in 2019. That's insane. So I will get to that. Thank you so much, Strawberry Hellcat, for the $10. Peter Davison, $5 Australian. Bridge crew in Star Trek Discovery, naive. The bridge crew, the nameless bridge crew, the bridge crew that we should have known every name by heart by now, but we don't. I know that Ashuwu, I don't know how to say her name, Ashu, and then I still don't remember Robot Girl's name, although I think that's the best makeup in the show. I dig her look 100%. I've said that from the beginning. Yeah. So how do they make it feel more like Star Trek? Well, hold that GD camera still for a minute. Okay. I'm not saying all the time. No, not all the time. This isn't 1985. Let things breathe. Yeah, I have lots of suggestions how to make Star Trek better. The first one is you got to write out your main character. Because every time Anson Mount is on the screen, he's more interesting. Every time Amanda shows up on the screen, she's more interesting. Those are two better actors. I would follow a show on Doug Jones, period. Love Doug Jones. Met him a couple times. One of the nicest human beings alive, so I have nothing bad to say about him. Thank you so much. Hey, Peter, say hi to Mum for me. Good day. Good day. Michael Alton. Michael Alton. How are you? Thanks for the £2. RIP TV. Also, seen Travelers on Netflix or Stargate? I've seen Travelers. It's pretty good. Have not seen Stargate. That's a 2019 project. And I'll probably, I did something similar with Farscape because I hadn't seen Farscape. So I did a review on my first viewing. kind of a Farscape version. I love it now. So I'll probably like Stargate. And I'll be honest with you, the reason I wasn't into Stargate was because I didn't like the movie. And I really, really hated it because it had Kurt Russell in it. So for me to hate a movie with Kurt Russell, it has to be that bad. But I heard the series is completely different, and I'm going to give it a second chance. It also came out. The only thing I was watching was Battlestar Galactica back then. Kilroy was here. You should use Subscribestar. I will look into that. I don't know anything about it, but thank you very much for the $2. I will look into it. Will I am Bo. Where can we send money that YouTube doesn't take 30%? You have a PayPal? I do. I have a PayPal. If you go to nerdrotic.com, there's on the right, there's a bunch of links. There's the thing that says tip jar, and it's my PayPal's at Nerdrotic. Yes, we do. And that's probably what we're going to eventually run everything through. I really want to make things as cheap as possible. I am not a greedy person. This is my job now, but I also, I've worked my ass off. So I've set myself up to pretty good. So I don't want to take any more than necessary. Okay. I'm glad I didn't open my comic shop though, because we just had a tree fall down and it ripped up my backyard, and it's so it's a good thing that this worked out. So the comic shop still might happen, but I really don't want to help Marvel these days. There's nothing I want to do to give them any money. Thank you, Will I am Bo. I appreciate it so much. Let's get back to the chat. How the hell are you, man? It is good to see you guys. I was itching to live stream today. I just was. This is my favorite thing to do. I'm sorry I'm behind on the videos though. The Orville one is really late. And it was such a good episode too. But it's basically like, about 10 minutes of me going, I really liked it. I watch a show about some Starfleet crews that have to follow Discovery and fix their mess while cracking jokes about the Discovery and its crew. Just call it, that would be funny. Is that what Below Decks is going to be? The more competent crew of the Discovery? Doug Jones is the only decent actor in STD, was in The Shape of Water. Yes, Carl Manvers. I kind of like that movie. Abe Sapien Falls in Love, or The Last Temptation of Abe Sapien. I kind of liked it. I did. He was brilliant in it. It had a weird ending. That was a weird ending, but it's supposed to. I love Guillermo del Toro, though. I do. I met him once. I won through the Heroes Initiative, which is an organization that helps comic creators, older comic creators who got completely screwed over by the companies, and when they're in hospice or they're homeless, they do a benefit to help them get money. It's a great organization I've worked with for many, many years. Well, I won an auction to where I could go down to Jimmy Kimmel when he was cool. I hate him now, and I was in the green room with Tenacious D and Guillermo del Toro, one of the best moments of my life. And our interview got I got to sit down with him, and he showed me his little art book that he has, and I get to hold it. Oh, and he's such a good artist. Then we got interrupted with a call from Selma Blair, who was refusing to be in Hellboy 2. And he said a couple things about her that weren't very nice. Yes, Travelers has been canceled, unfortunately, Rebecca Gold. What's up, Rebecca Gold? How's it going? Natasha, how are you? Stargate equals Canadian with Richard Dean Anderson. We love MacGyver and his mullet, okay? MacGyver. Elliot Nelson, fired up Gary is my favorite Gary. Oh, right on. Thank you. Yeah, I'm fired up. Yeah, man. I wasn't able to get enough videos out, so I feel pent up a little bit. I feel, this is very therapeutic, this thing. Actually, this YouTube channel makes me happy as hell. Sorry to report. Thank you very much, Elliot. I appreciate it. Joel Tamburo, $10. I agree. STD needs to get rid of Burnham, who redefines the term Mary Sue, indeed, while at the same time being utterly unlikable character who caused the deaths of millions. Yeah, let's just look back. She is a brilliant test pilot, xenobiologist, human raised by Vulcans who went to the Vulcan school or whatever. Vulcan could have been accepted in the Vulcan Academy if it wasn't for her dad who saved her life. And what else is she great at? Everything else. She fixed almost every problem. She has Klingons in human skin suits calling her to solve Klingon problems. Klingon personal problems in the Klingon diaries, by the way. She's a friggin' Mary Sue. And then every time they throw a flaw, it's somebody else's fault. You know, that problem she can't solve because Spock wrote the map first. Well, you know what the problem's going to be? Spock mapped it out wrong, and then Michael Burnham's going to figure it out. So it wasn't really her problem. It was Spock's problem, and she's going to fix it. Really, when she started the war, she just knew better than everybody. She was trying to do the whole Vulcan hello, and they wouldn't go along with her. So actually, it was everybody else's fault and not Michael Burnham's. When Michael Burnham saved Spock, she knew better than everybody. She was going to save him from those evil logic terrorists. So she wounded him deeply because of his weak, feeble, tiny male mind. And then Spock holds a resentment. He's jealous because his feelings were hurt. Okay, so how do you defend that as a Star Trek fan? I really want to hear it. I want to hear an actual, honest defense. Half human, I could buy that a little bit, but he would show some of that later. If he was that petty and jealous. And by the way, I didn't even talk about this in my original recap. When Sarek chose, when Sarek was given the choice of one of his kids being allowed in the Vulcan Science Academy because, your little experiment, when did Vulcans get petty? Have they always been petty? I mean, I could be wrong on that one, but it's kind of illogical to be petty. I mean, listen, there's been a lot of instances where Vulcans act out of character. I'm not saying it's the only time. It's just egregious in this show, okay? And the whole two wrongs make a right attitude. Well, they did this in the past show. Well, you know what? Star Trek Discovery keeps pining off all the bad ideas from Star Trek. At least with Sybok, it was, with the half-brother, it was from another mother. He was older. So that would make sense that they didn't spend very much time together. So you could have at least done that with Michael Burnham. Like she was fostered for a couple years and then she went somewhere else or did something else, but they grew up together. They actually grew up together. And where is Sybok, by the way? I shouldn't even fucking ask. God damn it. Yeah. So TK for $10 in Picard. Michael Burnham, for some silly reason, will travel to the future to convince a reluctant Jean-Luc Picard to re-enter the Starfleet fray. And I saw what you did there, TK. And by the way, I have an article to read later, which has a bunch of those. He will only be successful if he follows her advice. Oh, God, yeah. And didn't I read an article that there will be some connection? God, oh, man. Oh, boy. Let's see. What can we choose from today? We have, if you hit Star Trek news, which I hit Doctor Who news and Star Trek news and Jodie Whittaker news every morning. Star Trek Discovery confirms why there wasn't a second Klingon war from Screen Rant, or watch Star Trek Discovery Super Bowl Spock teaser. No thanks. Star Trek Discovery finally hits its stride from the Mary Sue. Oh, I'm going to read that one. I don't even know what's GR in GR. William Shatner to regale Star Trek fans in GR. I don't know. Oh, by the way, I need to acknowledge a super chat from Friday. So I was talking about not paying Star Trek Discovery, finding another way. And then somebody was trying to strongly hint that you could go on the high seas, basically pirates. And the poor guy was trying to hint to me like the whole show, and my dumbass wasn't getting it. So now I get it. Sailing the high seas with Star Trek. I'm with you. I'm old. It takes me a while to come around. Okay. We also have Star Trek Picard. That we already read that one. So let's go. Do I want to go to the Mary Sue? I'm pretty fired up right now. Let's see how Star Trek Discovery. I was going to use this as a thumbnail. I'm going to use this eventually as a thumbnail. Look at Michael Burnham's smile right there. It looks like I'm trying to smile. Okay, so I know Sonequa Martin Green can smile. She smiles all the time in her interviews. She's always laughing. So to get this right, she's trying to play a human raised by Vulcans. Who thought that was a good idea? Who ever thought that was like, that's compelling? The reason they probably did that was because she had a lot of trouble conveying emotion. So they're like, oh, we'll make her related to a Vulcan. There. Mission accomplished. Oh, the Mary Sue. An endless treasure trove of material. Star Trek Discovery finally hits its stride. I would have to agree. It has. It hit its stride. Mm-hmm. The third episode of Star Trek Discovery's second season, Point of Light, felt like the Star Trek show I've been dying to watch with this crew. I often find myself critiquing Star Trek Discovery because I dislike the show, but not because I dislike the show, but because I like it very much and I think it has potential and has been squandered by some previous episodes and plot lines. That's why season two's third episode, Point of Light, felt like such a breath of fresh air. Oh my God. How many times did we see? I think I've said that in every single Doctor Who article I've read. Everything's fresh. Everything's new. Everything's exciting because that old boring Trek was stupid. That's why season two's third episode, a breath of fresh air, and zoomed discovery in the right direction at warp speed. The episode was tightly scripted. What? And action-packed, yet still managed significant character and plot development. More of this, please. My surprise revisiting the Klingons this time around was the real emotional wallop of the episode, the saga of L'Rell as a female leader, complete with many of the struggles women in power face today. Felt apt and important. Oh, there's that word. We have a very important episode of Star Trek Discovery. Feminism has been pushed to new levels by this poorly written science fiction series that nobody watches. Yet, for the seeming familiarity of that plot, the complexity of her relationship with Tyler/Vok was new. Was that complexity? Was that okay? So I'm trying to figure out what was complex about this. It is complex if you mean confusing. So I'll state again that Tyler is dead. Whatever is there of Tyler, it's just what's left because they used his brain stem or something like that. So it's Vok. It is Vok in a Tyler suit, and some Tyler is seeping into Vok. What's complex? She says she loves him, and he says, "Well, I love you, but then the Tyler part of me remembers you tortured me, so I'm repulsed by you." Then she lies to him about having the baby. And then he finds out about the baby. And then he calls Michael Burnham and says, I just want to know my role, because the one male they were focusing on in the episode was a confused little baby. And speaking of which, and so he had to call another woman in Starfleet to know his role, even though he said in that conversation, I knew my role. So at the end, he is blamed for everything and then has to go. So the whole of their relationship was in this single episode. It's over now. He's off to Section 31. He's probably going to be part of the Section 31 spinoff if they indeed do that. He's on the ship. So their relationship is pretty done. So I don't know what was so complex about it. It was dumb. The duality of Tyler's existence, not quite a Klingon and not accepted as one, and not quite the human he has turned into, is fascinating. He's no longer Vok. He is never really Ash Tyler. This sets up a character journey unlike anything I've seen before. The second of Tyler and Darrell fighting for their baby's life were, oh my God, the scenes of Tyler and Laurel fighting for their baby's life were nail biting. And I only wish the scenes from next week, the prior episode, hadn't spoiled Georgiou's dramatic arrival and intervention. Deus Ex Machina. Michelle Yeoh is so good in this role, and that I would gladly watch a whole hour of her in it. So I hope that this episode will be the setup for the rumored Section 31 spinoff. If Tyler were to join that show, I'd have no complaints, though I also enjoy his dynamic with Michael. And it was excellent to see them get to interact again. Both of them treat their severed, poor choice of words there, their severed baby head relationship like adults who accept the extenuating circumstances while remaining wounded by the fallout, the yearning mixed with pain. God damn, somebody wrote this. They both, during their holographic interaction, the holographic interaction, and the gorgeous way it was shot. This is so discouraging. Maybe one of the best moments on Discovery thus far. Michael smiling encouragingly at Tyler. Okay, let's go back up to that. Look at that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Michael smiling encouragingly at Tyler through tears in her eyes. Were there tears there? I don't think so. That was some quality space drama. Oh my God, it goes on. Rather than dragging out the bizarre situation of Tilly and May, Discovery also quickly brought a subplot to a head, though it obviously has more places to go in the future. But many characters got to partake in Tilly's mycelial mystery, including Saru, Stamets, Michael, and Pike's Tilly and Pike. Tilly's conundrum provided for the kind of supportive ensemble moments and problem solving I love to see in Star Trek. Amanda's time on Discovery forwarded the plot concerning what's going on with Spock and neatly tied it into the mother theme running through this episode. Oh, I never caught that, really. It was so subtle. I'm also even more interested now to see what went down between Spock and Michael. That could have been so deeply felt. But this week, the searching for Spock Red Angel main plot shared space well with the other action on screen, namely Klingon politics. Michael and Tyler and Tilly, Point of Light showed that Discovery can deftly handle several storylines at once. I love this episode. Oh boy, somebody's going to freaking isolate that audio. There were a few overdone moments. Did anyone really believe Laurel was hoisting her baby's severed head upon the Klingons ensemble? And yet we really need that imagery. See, even the Mary Sue was asking if we really need that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't agree with them. But the fast-moving pace that still managed emotional resonance made this one of my favorite hours of Discovery to date. Please say this is where we're headed in the future. What did you think of Point of Light? Well, everybody knows what I think. Whew, we made it through that. God. Okay, yeah. I can only do one Mary Sue article a month. So that was it. That was it. Get to the super chats here in the back of the chat. You guys are brilliant. Silhouetted animated for $2. Legion should have gotten 5 seasons. I agree. I totally agree. It's one of the best shows on television, but wrapped in a neat little bow. I'll have it on Blu-ray. I will watch it again and again. It was one of the best things. Deadpool and Legion are the best 2 things Fox did with the X-Men, bar none. Strawberry Hellcat. Elliot Nelson is right. Fired Up Gary is the best Gary. Thank you. I appreciate it, Strawberry Hellcat. $9.99. There was a comment on your Counterpart review by someone who thought you saw one of the stars confirming that the show was canceled. And I was curious if that was true. No. Oh, I did not state that. What I said in my review is I was keeping an eye on the stars to see if there was confirmation that the show had been canceled or not. They should listen. They should listen. So the only reason we were talking about Counterpart being canceled, thank you, by the way, for the $9.99 super chat. JPRPH1. The only reason we were talking about it is because one of the stars is basically came out and said, hey, you need to start watching the show because it might be in trouble. In not so many words. It is in trouble. If you look at the ratings, it's bad. Thomas Potts, $1.99. The article proves the dangers of drugs. Just saying drugs are bad, okay? Really? Thank you, Thomas. Yes. James Hardy, $5, started playing STD drinking game. Every time a straight white male has 5 seconds or more of lone screen time, then we take a shot. Hope to open the bottle soon. Right? It was deliberate. It was deliberate. And the thing is, it's not like nobody doesn't want things to be diverse. Nobody doesn't want inclusivity. When you're overreaching and being obvious about it and tokenism, that in itself is racist. The fact that most people can't see that, or they refuse to see it. They absolutely do see it, but they refuse to see it because it fits the narrative that they like. That's bad, because if you're doing it in entertainment, it's one thing. We can complain about it. It's pretty harmless, or is it? Because entertainment can be a testing ground for a lot of things. And if we can, I don't know, get away with stuff with the public and entertainment, who's to say we don't try it in like real life shit? So that's why it's good. It's very good that there's channels like myself and Doomcock and others pointing this stuff out. I think anyway, as much as possible. It doesn't mean we don't want anything in there and going to these extremes. And that's what my next Doctor Who video is about. So they try, listen, the other side on this doesn't have a real good argument other than just throwing out accusations, but they can't really get into the weeds about this. Because when a show isn't executed good, when it's just bad, and that's what Star Trek Discovery is. Star Trek Discovery, Doctor Who was more political than Star Trek Discovery. Doctor Who was executed as poorly as Star Trek Discovery. At least Doctor Who didn't cost 10 million, 15 million an episode. It's getting up there, folks. It's getting up there. So the reason that, another thing I want to point out, and I talked about it a little bit in the video, was there were some meetings in Pasadena. I'm sure some of you heard CBS All Access announced a bunch of stuff. A third season for The Good Fight. April 1st, we're going to get Justin Peele's The Twilight Zone. They announced Stephen King's The Stand, it's going to be produced by the guy who's doing SEAL Team. But they didn't say anything about Star Trek Discovery. Now we keep hearing Kurtzman and company talk about, we're doing this, we're doing that. I want to credit James Hancock for pointing this out in his New Eden review. Kurtzman has an MO for this. When Kurtzman was in charge of Amazing Spider-Man, we heard Sinister Six, the Spider-Man cinematic universe. Now that wasn't all him, that was Avi Arad as well, but he was part of that. And he brought, Kurtzman was partially responsible for bringing down one of the most bankable characters in film, Spider-Man. So what did they do? They gave him another job at the dark universe. They gave him the Universal Monsters, been around for decades. He derailed that franchise in one effing movie, one that he wrote and directed. So we give him Star Trek. You want to talk about cronyism? How does this guy keep getting a job? Last time I checked, he's a white dude as well. Not that that matters, because it shouldn't. How does he keep getting a job? How is he in charge of anything? Well, who gave him a 5-year deal? Based on what? Based on some bottom line? I'm wondering, because I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to where we could find out actual numbers, and a legal way of doing that. Is it if you're a stockholder, do you have in quarterly reports? Can we find out some numbers on this? I don't know. The last actual numbers we heard for CBS All Access was last August. It has 2.5 million subs. So what do you think? Maybe triple that? I'll be nice. Triple that? Because one of my insiders was saying they haven't hit double digits yet, which tells me 9 million max. It could be different now. And I am waiting for the article because CBS All Access did air the Super Bowl. So can we count down the article of record numbers of subscribers for Star Trek Discovery because it aired on the same network as the Super Bowl? Well, shit. I'm on the same network as PewDiePie. Can I claim some of his numbers? Let's get to the chat. Okay, I'm getting caught up here. Michael Alton, Supergirl equals worse than Doctor Who. Project Blue Book, so good. I need to get caught up on Project Blue Book. We're going to do the reviews on Patreon for that one because I'm so woefully behind on it. I have mixed feelings, Michael, on Project Blue Book. I like it as an entertaining, as a television show of entertainment. And I just got to pretend that Alan J. Hynek is just a character. They're not actually basing it on his life. I was expecting a little more reality in it. So I needed to temper my expectations and realize that this was just a show for entertaining. They weren't really going to get into the life of Alan J. Hynek. They're just simply using his name. I know people in the UFO community are really pissed off about it. I'm not that pissed off, really. Supergirl, is it worse than Doctor Who? I haven't watched enough. I watched one season of Supergirl and could not take it. It was terrible. It's a terrible show. So it's clearly not marketed for me. But see, Doctor Who used to be a show for everybody. Used to be marketed for me. Used to be marketed for everybody in the chat. It's not now. It's for a very specific set of people, and that's what Supergirl is. Supergirl is a show for a very specific sect of people. That's it. Thank you for the £2, Michael. I appreciate it. Kurtzman is the kiss of death. He is poison. Tarka Jedi, you are right. I thought you were going to say he's a kiss ass because I think that's what he's really good at. Honestly, it gets you a long way. Mako, cocaine is a hell of a drug. It is. Kurtzman must have pictures of somebody. Him and Brian Singer. The official Dougie J. Kluntzman knows how to follow instructions, just like Akiva Goldsman and Brett Ratner. Yeah, Brett Ratner. Oh boy. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Those might not be disassociated statements, by the way. Nathan Norman. Oh no, I just lost your chat. Nathan, hang on. I'm going to find it. I'll find it. Oh, shite. Sorry. Repeat it, Nathan. It just bounced on me. Kurtzman can suck a bowling ball through a garden hose. That's how he keeps getting work. Okay, I found it, Nathan. There you go. Did you see the STD promo with the main characters singing Rent? Oh, yes. Singing Rent, but in more nerdy tones, trying to be funny. It was just horrendous and sad. Mick Juron, yes, I did see it. I played with the idea of doing a video on it that I'm like, I can't. Then I saw Splato. I saw your boy Zach, who's trying to jump on the Star Trek train, trying to be contrarian about it. I think he's liking it, listen, Zach is really good at the comic thing, has horrible taste in movies and television. He does. He should stick to that. But I saw his video. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I saw the singing on that, and wow. And then calling each other nerds. Sonequa Martin Green's not a nerd. Okay. No, none of them. Maybe Tilly, maybe what's her? I don't know her name, but maybe she's a nerd. The Orville has more diverse crew than Star Trek version. They have a living lime jello, for crying out loud, right? Strawberry Hellcat, and we got to see Norm Macdonald in the flesh this episode. That was brilliant. Kuntzman has no vision, therefore easy to control. Yep. And they want to be so safe with these franchises now. They're afraid to take any chances. I imagine that's probably why Fuller left. Fuller wanted to take the show in new directions, but still be Star Trek. And going back to the severed baby head, that's just a symbol of the whole. Okay. Star Trek Discovery does not look like Star Trek at all. It looks like JJ's Trek, but I don't consider that. I consider that ultimate Trek or alternate Trek or crappy Trek. And that's a failed item, folks. The 2009 movie, which was 10 years ago, by the way, did well. Into Darkness, I don't know if it was profitable or not, but it didn't do well. Whether it was profitable or not didn't matter because it killed the franchise. Because Beyond, which was a better movie than it, didn't do well because people hated Into Darkness. And that's the argument I will continue to make. And those of you who have been around pop culture know this, and all the newbies and normies don't. So we need to repeat it. Forgive me. But you feel with a franchise, you feel the repercussions in the next thing. Solo after the Last Jedi. Doctor Who season 12 after Doctor Who season 11. Trust me on this one. I guarantee you the Doctor Who overnight ratings in the UK will be 50 to 60% lower than they were last year. They're releasing it in spring, supposedly, which is a surprise. They're better suited to release it in fall when more people are watching TV, but it looks like they might release it in spring. So yeah, we'll see. After a year break, I bet you that's going to feel like a short year. Isn't CBS's goal for All Access to be at 8 million by 2020 or something like that? Maybe so, Gary Cannon. Maybe so. I remember when Hulu announced they were at 8 million. That was a big deal. But Hulu's when Hulu is producing material, they generally I don't know if they pay a production company. I don't know how much they're putting out, but they also have bigger backers. CBS, it's not a broke company by any stretch of the imagination. And here's what I think might happen. All right. First of all, if there's a Star Trek Discovery season 3, it benefits this channel. It actually doesn't benefit the channel for that show to get canceled. But I still want it to get canceled. I still want it to be gone because I'd rather be praising Star Trek than doing what we're doing now, is just pointing out all the BS. But I can see CBS taking a loss and taking a gamble on a season 3. The thing is, they're having to do so much stuff, so much weird stuff to prop up the show that you're just putting off the inevitable at this point. The show's expensive. You know what? Half the people I'll just be nice. Half the people don't like it. That's already a failure. That's already a massive failure. You have big Star Trek fans who don't like this show. You have a lot of voices on YouTube who don't like the show, who loved Star Trek before. So, and maybe they felt like a lot, when I hear from a lot of these new Star Trek fans, they're like, I didn't like old boring Trek. I like this one. And maybe that's what CBS felt like. They couldn't sell it today, or they couldn't sell it at the level that they wanted to. It's not a massive worldwide billion-dollar thing. It's just not. It's got a huge following. It's bankable. It's guaranteed money, but dialed down a little bit. It's not going to be Star Wars, unless Star Wars completely falls on its face. But it's just simply not. It's kind of niche. It's a niche franchise that's still a billion-dollar franchise, but compared to Star Wars, it's not that. It's like Doctor Who compared to Star Wars. Did I say Star Wars? I meant to say Star Wars. God, how much does PewDiePie have now? How many subscribers? Does he really have that many subscribers? Jesus Christ. Netflix has 140 million. That's the kind of number you need to continually make stuff that costs tens of millions of dollars. Michael Burnham would be okay if she was vulnerable and had worked for the admiration that is given her. Yeah, that there is no redoing that though, Rebecca Gold. You would have to go back and start from scratch. We're a season and 3 episodes into season 2. And have you seen anything that dialed it back from season 1 from her? No. She was in an episode less, but she still solved almost every problem. You can claim PewDiePie numbers only if you say his name like he does. Oh, hell no. I can't even get that high. I'd have to like kick myself in the balls or something. Project Blue Book, what's that? It's a show on the History Channel. It's supposed to be based on true events, but these true events, they basically use the template of the true event and then completely change it. And it's supposed to follow the adventures of Alan J. Hynek. It's a period piece. It's basically X-Files in the 50s. He's a bad Borg leader that thinks resistance is futile, right? I don't understand why they think they can have a streaming service with only 5 original shows. Archmage for exactly. Well, I think a lot of these companies are, well, especially when their biggest draw, Star Trek, is on Netflix as well. The only way your streaming services are going to work, I mean, you think they would know this, is if it's the only place you can get the show, period. What is Disney doing? They're bringing everything home. They're bringing everything home. The only place you will be able to see anything Disney. And if I was them, I would stop making physical media immediately. The only place you can watch Disney is on D+. That's the only chance they have of working. But the problem is, from the get-go, they don't have enough money. CBS doesn't have the library. I mean, like, really, how many people subscribe to CBS All Access to watch MASH again? MASH was on reruns for like, it's probably still is, but God, in the 80s, in the 90s, that was on every day, all day. People have seen MASH. It's done. D+ wants to rely on Star Wars. Well, good luck with that. You better make new Star Wars. But your old catalog, unless it's the only place, it's got to be exclusive. You got to have the feeling of exclusivity, and it has to be exclusive. Why did Facebook crush MySpace, which I still think was better, but I'm old. If you watch The Social Network, they explain it. It had that feel of exclusivity. That's it. So you have to have that feeling. It has to be the only place it can go. Doomcock's head is going to explode in his mask if he reads that Mary Sue review. Kaboom, I tell you. Thundercats ho. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest. Hey, he made it through the episode. But CBS having only 5 shows is like Blockbuster Video only having 5 movies. Exactly. Idiotic tirades. I like that name. Just saw Doctor Who New Year's episode down to 15% on RT with a 95% critic score. Say so much about this, the shills. It really does. I was trying to do an R2 video. That was one of the things that delayed me. I was trying to do an RT video last night. They had everything shut down. They must have been doing site maintenance though. That's my guess. That is my guess. Here we go. We got some more super chats here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh boy. I got to move the window. I can't move my camera. Wow. Okay, man. I've been blabbering on. Silhouetted animator, Black Lightning or Supergirl? Well, which is worse? Supergirl. By far. I watched a little bit of Black Lightning. Again, it got way too political for me. I was like, I can't even talk about these episodes without, but yeah, I got way too political and way out there and just, yeah. And it kept pushing this narrative and oh my God, I'm going to save it for the Doctor Who video. What they try to hit us back with when we say we simply don't like a TV show is they try to make broad accusations. These broad accusations are trying to move a narrative that simply is not true. That's the problem. When we talk about politics in a TV show that was put out in the 60s, the politics were gnarly in the 60s. Shit was really going down. People were really freaking dying a lot. Okay. So, without getting political, people aren't dying that much here. People still die every day from violence because we're a big country. Okay. There's a lot of people. But if you look at actual percentages, well, hey, the percentages of overdose death it was very good. Sorry for the clap. Overdose deaths in California went down for the first time in years last year, which was great. Absolutely great to hear. A lot of stuff is going down. So, and you just got to look at the big picture, but There's narratives on both sides. That's why I want, this crap out of my shows. Yes, you can still talk about politics in less of a broad term. Like if you're calling politics like, well, they said war is bad one episode, that's political. It's like, that's obvious. Okay, stop. That's not what we're talking about. But yeah, Black Lightning got a little much for me. And that was the same with Cloak and Dagger too. Galactic Dude, $5. I came across a video of Kurtzman admitting that he can't keep track of Star Trek canon. Explain why he makes his own shit up. And he does. And he makes up the canon. And he has no idea what he's talking about. Galactic Dude, thank you for the $5. I saw that video. Yes. I think that came out last summer. Moose Hoot LLC, $5. I detest STD. But do you think people could tolerate STD if it didn't have the Star Trek name associated with it, or does the SJW crap ruin it? If it was just simply a sci-fi show on the Sci-Fi Network, that's what it is. It's your basic garden variety sci-fi show on the Sci-Fi Network, and with the Star Trek label on it. And that's what Doctor Who is. Doctor Who is a really bad Saturday morning kids special, dumbed down fan film of Doctor Who, of what Doctor Who used to be. Because they're going for a specific audience that isn't you and that isn't me, because they've lost the ability, or no, they haven't lost the ability. They don't give a crap anymore about pleasing all the customers, because they think some of their customers, some of their fans are evil because they think they're the good guys. And that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Watch for my next Doctor Who video. That's all what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Thank you, Moose Hoot LLC. What is that a channel? Yeah, what's that about? I'm curious. Justin Doyle, what is up, my friend? £5. Hey, Gary. Only way to fix Star Trek is to have a Bobby Ewing in the shower moment. It was all just a bad holodeck dream. If we had like Q getting out of the shower, that would be great. I would be freaking brilliant. There is a way to save the show. It's hard, but they basically have to erase everything Spock. If they took Doug Jones and Anson Mount and kept Tilly, kept Stamets, Anthony Rapp can act. I have no problem really with Anthony Rapp or his character or anything. There's a lot of romance going on there. Like there was never a lot of like romance, like intership romance. We'd have singular episodes on it. But I remember watching The Next Generation first season, and I always thought that they were alluding to some kind of Picard and Crusher romance, but they never did anything. Like individual episodes, and later on, and like DS9, if something you build up to, it's just a little much of that. Yeah, they need to set up his boyfriend dying, whatever. But Anthony Rapp, you can keep. That's fine. I have no problem with it. He's really good for those Jodie Whittaker facial expressions, though. So you'll be getting a lot of thumbnails from him making like really bizarre, over animated facial expressions. Who else do you keep? Yeah, focus on Saru, Robot Girl, Anson Mount, and Rebecca Romaine when she comes on, because I'm a big Rebecca Romaine fan. That's my Mystique, by the way. And new writers, new directors, bring in Ronald D. Moore or Mark Zickery. I know he's into his Space Command, but like Mark, I think Star Trek needs your help, buddy. So, but yeah, keep working on Space Command. I like Mark Zickery. Yeah, sure. But they're going to scrap it. Here's the deal. If it gets season 3, it ain't getting season 4. It's just not. They are gambling right now. They need this to work. Their whole streaming service relies on it. And here's what they're playing for. They want independence in this, because CBS broadcasting used to have to rely on nobody. They had to deal with the cable companies and stuff, but they were able to jack them up. They were a big, powerful company, and they're losing their power. The networks are losing their power. The networks are going to be Netflix's bitch. That's it. And Amazon's bitch. And they are struggling not to do that. But what's going to happen is when these streaming services don't work independently because of rights issues and stuff, CBS All Access is not even available in the EU, which, I mean, they must take it in the shorts on that one. Not being available in the EU? What the hell? But that's the way things work right now. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. Netflix is so far ahead of everybody. I mean, like, let's just talk about CBS All Access, the network. Their closed captions are out of sync. The damn thing stops all the time. The quality, there's just the general quality stinks. It's terrible. It must be better to watch it on Netflix when you can watch it in 4K and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just god awful. Everything about it. Oh, Captain Spire, thank you for the $10. I've promoted your channel on Star Trek Online regarding the CBS fallout, and some shout back that you are a half-wit, that you are a half-wit hack who can't form a single thought. Well, you know, they're not wrong. I'm not going to argue with them. I asked for examples. And they curse at me. Yeah, you've won the argument. When somebody drops the F-bomb, you've won the argument. Yeah, well, and hey, listen, man, it sounds like my dad. Nah, I'm just kidding. Thank you for defending me. And hey, thank you everybody, especially when there's a certain YouTuber made a video out there. A lot of people went in the comments and defended me. I mean, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks for having my back. I will try to have your back as much as possible. Again, I've talked about like hashtags and shout outs and stuff. If you shouted me out, let me know and I will definitely thank you. I don't hear everything, but I do really appreciate it. It helps this channel grow. We will be jack shit without you guys. So thank you so much. And I appreciate that, Captain. I really do. Thank you so much. And hey, they can call me what they want. What are they on? Star Trek Online? You know, I will give them this advice. If you have some good, if you have some good snark, if you have some good trash talk, save it for something you can, that can build a following. Save it for Twitter, save it for YouTube. I try to keep my best material here, my best material in quotes. But thanks, Captain. I appreciate it. Silhouetted Animator, $5. One question I'd love to see DC answer. Could New God Apocalypse weaponry harm Lucifer Morningstar? I would say yes. Harm. You're talking harm, not kill. He's pretty freaking powerful. That's a good question. I have to ponder on that one, Silhouetted Animator. Silhouetted Animator, what do you think of Ava Duvendre, whatever, directing the New Gods film? The one who did A Wrinkle in Time. Oh boy, this name. Zarkon Dear. Okay, I got it. Zarkon Dear Grissom. $20. Amazing. Wow. It must be blasphemy for Trek fans to expect something like Trek from a show named Star Trek. I know. Change for the sake of change can be very bad, especially when there is a complete disregard for why it was the way it was. God, that's such a great point. Nobody, very few people would listen. With the modernizing of the technology, there was a way you could have done this and made everybody happy, but they deliberately went out of their way to make political comments that they knew would alienate some of their fans. It was a conscious decision. So don't feel sorry for any of them. I guess they felt emboldened. They probably thought that was, they believe their own bullshit. They were smelling their own farts. They believe their own news networks when they say, oh, there's just a very small amount of really just white males. Listen, my chat is filled with all kinds of people, all kinds of beautiful, wonderful people from all sides of the aisle. We're upset about a TV show. Stop generalizing us. Well, I mean, they can't help it. That's the thing. That's the whole point of this. When they trip over their own, what's trying to be diverse, they're actually being racist as hell. You treat people on an individual basis, based on their character, their merit. Okay. And yes, there's plenty of diverse people that you're not giving a shot to. You want to know why? Because you're the cronyism. Alex Kurtzman getting a job. That's what Hollywood needs to deal with. They try to put this off on the fans. That's the most despicable part about this. They go, "Oh, you the fans of the haters." It's like, whoa. No. So, I was thinking about it when I was on Creature Features. Somebody asked, like, "What's your title?" I don't have a title, by the way. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a news agency. I'm a dude with a microphone. The closest thing that I will accept as a title is fan advocate. I'm out for you guys because I'm a fan. I'm just a regular fan. I'm a half-wit fan with the microphone. That's me. But hey, at least my parents didn't waste money on college. They knew I would never make it through there, and good for them. But I did okay. Went to that proverbial school of hard knocks. Yeah, they Captain, they have no idea what they're talking about. That's fine. That's cool. I don't know them either. In the year 2019, there is only dead franchises and the laugh of thirsting executives. Canadian $5 greed. Big Red Bear. Hail to you, sir. Hail to you. And Zarkon, that was great super chat, by the way. I applaud you. Everybody, you guys we hear that term gatekeeping, and it's applicable in Hollywood. That's what the unions are. That's what they are feeling threatened. They being entertainment media, news media, and Hollywood. Because I'll say it again, in the streaming wars, nobody mentions YouTube. YouTube is the X factor in this because this is the punk rock. This is the underground music scene of entertainment. It's just like it. There's honestly, YouTube is very punk rock, to the point where the people on YouTube complain about YouTube. I do too, and yeah, we get the whole sellout thing, and it reminds me, you live long enough, you see cycles repeat, and this is one of them, and it's a beautiful thing. And to a certain extent, it's happening on Twitch and other places too, and that is great. You seeing kids like get huge, just like, PewDiePie, and it's brilliant to see. It is really inspiring. One of my favorite kids, he's going to hate that I called him a kid. Jeff Hicks from World Class Bullshitters. He's a youngster. Okay. He's like my son's age. And he's one of the few people who might be taller than my son. I think he's 6'6". My son is 6'5". I got to meet him recently, did a live stream with him. That is a great kid. I love that dude. And it's really inspiring what he's done with his channel. And he's doing a comic book right now. And that's, despite all being called haters, that just shows what little work they put into like looking at us, as people. And that's fine. I don't really care. I don't need their approval, and neither does Jeff. But if you look at World Class Bullshitters channel, it's not even close to being a hater channel. He points out stuff with Star Wars, but listen to their podcast. Just listen to. I've been listening to their podcast for a long time. Great channel, and Geeks and Gamers too. And it was great being on the House Council. That was a huge honor. I've been listening to that since episode 1. Let's get to the super chats here. You and Rogan, the only streams I watch regularly. Whoa, Nick, bravo, $2. That is like seriously the highest praise ever. Joe Rogan is the king of podcasting. Despite him bringing up DMT all the time, which is fine, whatever. There is 3 of his podcasts that I listen to, Nick, over and over and over again. I'm really not into the fighting stuff, but he's such a great interviewer. And he interviewed oh God, I'm blanking. Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock. There's three. Well, actually, there's more than that. There's 2 solo interviews with each of them, and then there's 3 with both of them there. Can't recommend those podcasts enough. I've listened to them like 10 times each. Yeah, he's really good, Nick. So thanks, man. I really appreciate it. The Hound, 5 pounds. CBS's attempt to improve the Klingons this season is just feeble. Some of the Klingons look like xenomorphs in a party wig. Oh, the Hound. My favorite character from Game of Thrones. Welcome, sir. Love the Hound. God, the show missed him when he was gone. I love him. That is so true. So yeah, this whole new look Klingons, and I'm sure other people pointed out. So they got one that looked like a Klingon. Okay, Cole. Like, but did you look at the ones in the background? Yeah, they look like xenomorphs. They look like, they look like xenomorphs crossed with the oh God, I only saw the Alien prequel once. That dude who took the black stuff and puked up the black stuff and made the planet different, who terraformed the planet. What the hell were those things called now? The architects or whatever the hell they were. Tarork 79, which is, what's DKK? $20. Denmark. I'm going to guess Denmark. I'm here to say STD, has been declared as heresy, because I can read one more time. I'm here to say STD has been declared as heresy, and I agree. It is blaspheme. But nope, there's people out there who just love it to death, man. And there's no accounting for bad taste. Hey, I like bad stuff too. Those are the Nerdrotic dogs. Con Air is one of the greatest movies ever made. Yes, I love Con Air. I love Nick Cage in it. I love Put the Bunny Down. I love every John Malkovich. It's like a great cast, ridiculous plot. They crash in my favorite city, Las Vegas. I love every second of that movie. When they air it on TNT, I freaking watch it. It's like the one time I watch my Sling for cable is when they show Con Air. And I own it, and I still watch it when they air. I love Con Air. I really do. Thanks for answering earlier. Head exploding was TNG's season 1, but I hear you. Yeah, no problem, Sean. The thing is, and I stated this in a couple of live streams ago, they Star Trek The Next Generation season 1 was rough. I remember watching it live going, ooh, man, this thing isn't going to make it. I still enjoyed it. I still found enjoyment in it. I found no enjoyment in Star Trek Discovery. You cannot compare Star Trek Discovery season 1 to Star Trek The Next Generation season 1. That's ridiculous. They're nowhere near. Star Trek The Next Generation season 1 is something I would watch again, and many of you have. If anything, Tasha Yar, come on, Yar. Denise Crosby. She had that 80s look like going on, the business, like before that was, the pre-lesbian haircut, the short haircut. And yeah, I loved her. I hope the Picard show will be better than Discovery. Me too, Jim Rom. I truly do. I want to see a smart Star Trek show again, not a technology show. Hello from Greece. Whoa, Jim Rom from Greece. I'm going to be very close to you in a couple months. Very, very close at the end of March. The end of March. Going to Europe. More news later. I'm going to try to get to the UK, guys, so we can. I can't be in Europe and not visit London for a couple days. I'm going to try to make it happen. More news on that later. Alex Kurtzman drinks too much soy latte, right? Yes. Do not put soy in your coffee. It's bad. Black coffee. For one, when you put in sugar and cream, it actually counteracts the caffeine a little bit. You get more of a pure rush from black coffee. I thought we were the Nerdrotic dogs. John Smith, I wouldn't. Well, I mean, you're my dogs, like DAWGS. Yes, you're my dogs, but those are my dogs. They're actually pretty good security. TNG season 1 had rough moments, but it was clearly Star Trek Discovery was not. You're right. Loquacious Primate. Yeah, you cannot compare them at all. Con Air and The Rock, easily 2 of the best Nick Cage movies of all time. Yes. Hellcat. I'm going to say Cat. I don't know. I agree. I love The Rock as well. Filmed here in San Francisco. Yeah, I love me some bad Michael Bay. Michael Bay sucks. Like he's bad, but goddamn if I don't like some of his movies. So yeah, what do I know? Joe Rogan lost some integrity in my eyes after not going all out in the interview with the Twitter numpty. What was that? I missed that. What happened? I'm gonna have to watch that. Well, you know what? He kind of wasn't he talking about? Or didn't he have Sargon on too? Am I imagining that? Darth Maul. What's up? That's because it was still well written in season 1 of yeah. It was still well written by knowledgeable Star Trek writers and knowledgeable people. Gene Roddenberry was still around. Not that he was that important to it. He's the good vision. He was a good visionary, good idea man, flawed man, but aren't we all? She was channeling her, what's her name from Beverly Hills Cop 2. Oh my God, why am I Bryce? 11544. Stallone's ex-wife. Why am I forgetting her name? Oh, I was in love with her too. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Thoughts on upcoming games workshop series Angels of Death? It's a 40K like Warhammer animated series, or do you not follow the Emperor? If not, Heretic. I'm a heretic. I'm a big time heretic. I'll look into that though, because it just sounds like one of those things that I could have dealt with it with. I owned a comic shop for 10 years. And I didn't carry the Warhammer stuff. People hit me up all the time and I just didn't know enough about it. It's the same reason I didn't carry Magic cards. I'm like, it's not that I don't like them. They make tons of money, but I would be the worst person to ask about it because I know nothing about it. But you are really like the 50th person who's brought that up to me. So I have to check it out now. So I will. So I will be a heretic for now, but, and I'll always be a heretic for other stuff. Trust me. Black coffee has health benefits that are offset by cream and sugar. Yes, Mage Grey Wolf. And that is your health segment here at the Nerdrotic channel. Rebecca Gold. If you're in London, give me a shout out and I'll buy you a beer. Rebecca, I do not drink. Thank you for the offer. I mean, it's a very generous offer. Coffee. I drink coffee. I do not drink. I am clean and sober, but thank you. And yes, I will let you, everybody, I'll give a shout out and we can do a meetup. I did one in San Diego. Our first one, we had 2 people show up. That was awesome. That was great. Johnny Papas and Crazy Carlos. And we sat in a coffee shop and talked for a couple hours. It was brilliant. So yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Oh, Andre Merrick says Joe Rogan is on right now addressing it. He is. Somebody killed poor Billy Bedlam. Oh no, Will Gentry. Joe Rogan definitely was expecting to be a centrist long form intro for such a Joe Rogan definitely was expecting to be a centrist long form interviewer for such large companies with billions at stake. He had Jack Dorsey on his podcast. Oh, Jack Dorsey. And what was he was light on him? Oh, well. Yeah, it's disappointing. TNG head exploding. Execs interfered with Roddenberry to to tone it down. Roddenberry showed them the finger, and that's now in the episode. Good. It's good to show people the finger, Olaf, once in a while. It really is. Oh, yeah. Loquacious Primate. Did you see the video? Yeah, we just talked about it. You see the video of the STD cast singing the Rent parody. Anthony Rapp can actually sing, but the rest of them are pretty cringe. It was awful. It was awful. But that shows you where we're at with Star Trek. And we're seeing all this la fluffy stuff. Hey, so who watched the entire Super Bowl? Did they put a legit Star Trek Discovery ad in it, or did they just have that Spock weird ear teaser thing? Did they run an actual trailer? Yeah, Rogan. Okay, so Rogan did have Sargon on. Yeah. I heard Sargon didn't do well on that one, but I could be wrong. Did you like the Goon comic? Says the Entropy Kid. Yes. My God, yes. That is such a good comic. And did you see the animated short, the test footage for the possible animated Goon that we never got? That was so good, Entropy Kid. Oh. Deer caught in the headlights, burn them. That's right. Black coffee is the blood of life. Brett Newman, you're right. Will Wheaton did a good series on Tabletop called Tabletop. Okay. Squids McCracken. Will Wheaton blocked me on Twitter when he was on. And like I've broke bread with that dude. I've hung out with that dude. And he blocked me on Twitter just because, I got a notification right now, EVS, because of EVS. And I will not stop following people that I like. I like Ethan Van Sciver. Prior to his YouTube channel, I am a big fan of his art. His art is, that dude made me so much money with his Green Lantern and Flash stuff at the comic store. It was like printing money selling that stuff. Oh my God, it was good. Yeah, so a big fan of his art. Can't wait for Cyberfrog. It'll be worth the wait, folks. Right on. Trinoculus P, same here, sober for decades. Oh man, that is inspiring. People who can stay sober for that long. It is not a Bridget Nielsen. Thank you, T Stoney. Thank you. Trinoculus, yeah, it is not an easy thing to do. It is not. So congratulations. And I'm sure you don't stay sober that long without paying it forward, passing it on, and good for you. Good for you, mate. T Stoney, yes. Bridget Nielsen. Yeah, oh my God. I loved her. I was like 16, okay, when Beverly Hills Cop 2 came out. 16 or 17. Magic cards are a crime. They're gambling plus crack, says Big Red Star. Yes, they are. Oh, Malwinius Serrano, all from New York, is in the house. What's up, man? I don't like the idea Sarek had Spock with 11-year-old kid. Yeah, Amanda is a little young, don't you think? Amanda from the L Word. And I'm sure some of you saw my video. That kiss was a little long, right? I mean, it was like a quarter of a second too long. There's a mom kiss, and then there's an L Word kiss. And that was definitely an L Word kiss. By the way, they're rebooting the L Word, everybody. So we got that to look forward to. Balance of Terror and the Carbonite Maneuver were filmed in something like the first 10 or 12 TOS episodes. If STD hasn't figured it out. Yeah. Dan M. No. That slow beginning, that's just people coming to the realization that it sucked. I mean, look at how many critics are now admitting that it wasn't a good first series. The ones who were defending it, calling us haters, and now they're sneaking it into all their reviews. Oh, well, last season was a little slow. I'm working on something for that. I mean, there's some obvious stuff out there, like with the Orville reviews. It's been pointed out. There's a couple people who just like hated it. And all of a sudden Disney buys Fox, and all of a sudden Orville's got 100% for season 2. Isn't that funny? Funny how that works out. I think I have a picture for that. Hang on. Hold on. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves, folks. Oh, there it is. I love Photoshop. I really do. I really do. There we go. That's just for them. Certified shill, Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. Thoughts on Hickman's Fantastic Four? Black Tower Terran, brilliant. My third favorite run of Fantastic Four. I would put it just, barely below, but just below John Byrne's run. Black Tower Terran. Actually, just talking about it right now makes me want to reread it. It was so goddamn good. So, yeah, I'm a fan, big fan. Very funny, Chris Persia. Did you mean Harrow Tick since Mrs. Nerdrotic has a salon? That could work. Yeah, it could work. Actually, I do need a haircut. It's time to get the thing is that, yeah, my wife owns a salon. I'm like the last MFer who's allowed to get in there. Yeah. Yeah, one of the Dreckies that was coming at me named herself Snark. It's like, listen, child, I'm married to a hairdresser. We are around bitchy queens every day. Your level of snark is weak. You can come to class if you'd like to come to class sometimes, but as far as snark is concerned, I learned from the best, the absolute best. I got my magic crack when Ice came out, says DJ B2. I got my magic crack when Crack came out in the 80s. No, I liked Crank, not Crack. You should come to the East Coast. I'm sure there are plenty of fans in the New York area. Loquacious Primate. I plan to go to New York Comic-Con. That is the plan, Loquacious. So if you're on the East Coast, I have a cousin who lives in Long Island, and I would love to go to the East Coast. It's been years since I've been in New York or Boston. I want to go to Boston too. I love that town. Will Gentry. Oh no, it just jumped on me. Sorry, Will. I'm going to try to find you. Harp, the radical moderator. Reboots have to stop entirely. Agreed. Will Gentry. Oh my God, someone killed poor Billy Bedlin. Oh, that's right. It is Con Air quote. You fake fan. Haha. No, I completely I brain farted. You got me. I'm a poser. Con Air fan. Damn. Oh, Will Gentry. I blame drugs. Got me on that one, buddy. Put the bunny down. Can the USS Discovery do a saucer separation? If they spin the fidget spinner fast enough, divert power to the fidget spinners, right, Zarkon? They could quantum to the tachyon field and blink themselves out of existence. Yes. Can you send us a link for that certified shill PNG, Gary? I'd love to try and paste it on the critic reviews on RT. Simon Marino, it'd be my pleasure. If you guys give me just a second, I can make that happen. Give me just a second. I'll put it on my website on its own page. And in the meantime, what will we talk about? Fidget spinners. I'm going to talk about my next video. So yeah, I've got a Doctor Who video coming out. I've got a possible couple of guest appearances that could be happening Wednesday. So I might be with somebody very cool on Wednesday. I've been in contact with some very cool YouTubers. And yeah, I might be doing something with them, which will be lots of fun. I love going on other channels. I got to get more people on this channel. Okay, so Bulls Trek, great channel. All right. Love everything he does. Like his channel, my channel align perfectly. We are friendly on Twitter. I will get that dude on a live stream. It's just a matter of his, he's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy, but love Bulls Trek. Okay. Absolutely adore him. And yes, you know, I really wanted to sing the for our first live stream, Rent the musical with him as a duet, but I guess that's out of the picture now. He said he'd consider it if it was death metal, and I can sing pretty good Cookie Monster death metal. So there you go. All right, here we go. We're gonna add it to the media page. Add new. You ask, you shall receive, folks. So it's the shill PNG. There we go. There it is. And now is added to my website, and now it will have a shareable link. Boop, 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 boop. Let's make sure that is good. Just double checking this link real quick. It's for free. Okay, here we go. This is for everybody. That is the shill PNG. There you go. Who loves you? Come on. Let me know that. Make sure that works. So it should work. It should work. I have to do. It's a little small, but you know, if we need it bigger, yeah. Cookie Monster Death Metal. Tell me it's on Patreon. Oh well, not yet. I would consider it though. I can, yeah, I could get my bass going, sing some Rent. Check out your Facebook DMs. Got some good info coming. Okay. Okay. Let's try the Facebook. Boom, boom. I got to get rid of this first though. How's the stream looking, guys? The weather's horrible here right now. It's utterly horrible. Hey, Gary, you stoked for James Gunn directing the Suicide Squad, says Brian Fisher. Am I stoked? I think it's a good move for DC. I would rather he direct Guardians 3. His tweets sucked. They were lame. He got fired for it. Yeah, those are really, he was just trying to be an edgelord. That's all. I am all about second chances when he was just joking about it. Okay, if there was anything more serious than that, and like, you're dead to me. But he was joking. Bad jokes. Yeah, I think he'll do a good job with Suicide Squad. I'd rather see him doing Guardians 3. I love Guardians so much. That being said, God, Suicide Squad had a good first 15 minutes. It had a good concept. It had a great trailer. Then it just like turned into a horrible, horrible movie. Yeah, I think he's going to take over Brian Fisher. I think he and James Wan will be the gurus of, and it kind of sounds like in the beginning when Jon Favreau was working, you know, with Joss Whedon in the beginning of the MCU, and the DCU has a good person in charge, Walter Hamada. They are turning shit around, and it's going to be good. All right, give me just a second there. I'll get right back to the chat. I got some super chats too, but that's why it's really so. Okay, Facebook DMs on the page or to me. Okay, here we go. Make sure I'm not sharing this. Okay. As far as the Orville being renewed, okay, so the Orville got renewed at the 7th episode during the 7th week of season 1. So we are right there for Orville season 2. We're at a break. We just had the 6th episode, so I suspect we might find out in the next couple of weeks. Nothing's coming up for me right now. I'm gonna have to check those later. It's not really working out that well. Whoop whoop, says Simon Marino. Disney was in a rock and a hard place. The director from Thor Ragnarok and a bunch of others are supporting him. Yeah, I think he should have a second chance. It was awful. Those are horrible tweets, and he kind of got what was coming to him, though. I have to say, because he was critical of Roseanne. And you know what? Don't throw stones in glass houses, folks. He could have just shut up. If he'd have not said anything, he'd still be directing for Disney. He paid his price, and stuff, but still, the reason Disney can't bring them back is because they won't bring back Roseanne, and they would have to bring back Roseanne if they brought back Gunn. I think they should both be brought back personally, immediately. Thanks for making me feel like a freak for not loving The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. I felt so lonely back then. Mazamonte, you weren't, and honestly, that's how I found World Class Bullshitters, because at the time I had a co-host, and we hated that movie at The Force Awakens, and we're like, God, we're all alone here, and I just wrote it off to like, maybe I'm just old and tired, maybe I'm just getting old and tired, and this is what the kids like, and whatever, I'll ride off into the sunset. But then I found the World Class Bullshitters, and then more and more people started joining up, and then The Last Jedi like pushed it over the edge. I have a feeling this Spock story is going to have a very similar result with Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery season 1 was worse than The Force Awakens. I'll tell you that. It's worse. The Force Awakens like has a moment or no, it's pretty bad, but it has a moment or two. Star Trek Discovery season 1 does not. It's awful. But when they come in and they bring in Spock, and Spock is just they remember all off season, there was 2 mantras. There was trust us, and there was this will be a very different Spock. This will be a very different Spock. So basically, we're going to get a Spock with emotions, because these idiot writers can't write a Vulcan, can't write a character without emotions. They need the emotional anchor. So he'll have a bad father. Wow, that's so effing original. It's all Sarek's fault. Yeah. And inserting Michael Burnham into this, it's just a way for them. It's job security. That way, you inserted a character. What they tried to do was retroactively try to make Star Trek more diverse. Did you really need to do that? Because some of them, because there's something problematic with the history of Star Trek, because it's so, I don't know, not progressive. They're trying to retroactively make themselves more important, and retroactively make Michael Burnham more important than Kirk and Spock. They want to make her the new face of Star Trek. Well, good luck with that. Marvel's doing the same thing with Captain Marvel, and that's not working out so well either. By the way, what I thought of the Captain Marvel trailer, I stopped watching it halfway through. It just looks like it's going to be, for lack of a better word, Cuck Fury and Captain Marvel and a kitty cat. So whatever. The Avengers Endgame trailer was great, and I hope that's the last one they ever show. I don't want to see another trailer. I don't want to see a second of footage. You can show them walking up to a building or like an establishing shot, but that's it. Don't show me any action. Show me nothing. I want to go into this movie cold. Disney, you do not need to show a trailer for this movie. It's going to make $1 billion. You don't need to waste any money on marketing. I would put up a couple billboards and just kick back and like collect money, as long as it's good. You bring Captain Marvel in, and I have been saying this since they announced the Captain Marvel movie. If I think Captain Marvel, it will get the kill shot on Thanos, or whoever the bad guy is, or she will be very instrumental. Because this is going to end like a comic book, folks. So if some of you don't read comic books out there, there will be no clean ending here. You're going to lose a couple characters. Sorry, that's some weird noise, like something fell down. You're going to lose a couple characters, but it's just going to lead into something else. It's not going to be a hard, clean ending, because they know if they do that, people will go, okay, I'm done. I'm good. Which I think a lot of people would do anyway. Okay. They can't write folks without emotion, but they sure can hire them. Says Lord Lovecraft. That was a good one. $5 super chat. Well done, sir. Well done. John Smith, $5. Proud to be a Nerdrotic dog. Loved your creature feature show. Ever consider theme music for when you're looking for stuff? Come to the boss, my backyard. Hey, okay. Yes, we need theme music for the Exozone. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like the only song I use at the end of my videos is something I found in the free YouTube audio library, and I only picked it because the song title was "Beam Me Up." So yeah, I would definitely be down with that. DM me on Twitter or Facebook. Don't send messages on the Nerdrotic Facebook page. I'm not getting all of those for some reason. So DM me on Twitter. I think Susan's getting some of the Facebook page ones, but I'm not. Something got set up wrong because I didn't set up the page. Kellen Data for $9.99. The slap in the face politics is driving me away from sci-fi. Supergirl is probably one of the worst in that. As a straight white man that happens to enjoy things like firearms, makes me the devil. Exactly. And you know, they have this real crazy false assumption that the firearms is like a right left thing. I am here to tell you it's not. And I'm stating the obvious because you guys are smart, but some other people might, you know, are people like, it is definitely not. That is the one issue here in the States that I think actually unites both sides pretty hardcore behind it. That's not one they're going to take away anytime soon. So, I mean, good luck with that. If you try, good luck with that. You'll have to go door to door, and yeah, you know, that would just cause a lot of trouble. I'm just saying there's you know, yeah, I can't get in that conversation, but that's that assumption. That's that assumption that I'm right. So I'm just going to put these politics in there. And there used to be people there used to be checks and balances. There used to be a producer or somebody going, no, you can't put that in there. You're going to piss half our audience off, and we don't want to do that. Or even worse, if I put that in there, I need to balance it out with something, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to sound like I'm endorsing politics, but these are the safe ones to endorse because Hollywood is a freaking mob. It's a mob. It's a freaking mob. You got to kiss the ring. You got to kiss enough ass to make it there. Even on the lower levels, man, the amount of ass kissing and I suck at ass kissing. I'm terrible at it. Yeah. I was never going to make it there ever. I don't do passive aggressive, and I'm not an ass kisser. So, you know, Zarkon D. Grissom. Zarkon D. Grissom. I'll get that right. The Last Jedi. How does the Holdo maneuver not break the franchise? One droid and an X-Wing makes the Death Star a non-threat. Yep. The Holdo maneuver. Oh, Jesus. That was just dumb. That was just flat out dumb. You know, and she was a general. Did she just get back from a dinner party or something? But no, they had to dial that up, didn't they? Zarkon Deer Grissom again for $5. Same for the go to any time and place spore drive, Borg War, Voyager, etc. Should not be a thing with the spore drive. Exactly. So what's your bet? Here's what I think what actually happened. They were going to set up their own timeline. I think even Midnight's Edge talked about something to that effect. And I think they were going to set up their own timeline, and somewhere along the line they decided not to. I don't mean Kelvin. I mean, they were going to set up their own thing, which they probably should have done. But they realized last minute, because they probably saw the merchandising figures from Bad Robot for the Kelvin stuff, which was like nobody was buying it. No, I mean, like I wouldn't even consider it. It's fake Kirk. And you don't see any Star Trek Discovery merchandise, and merchandise brings in a crap ton of money. Like that could really help a show. You know, I wonder if we're going to ever get any Orville merchandise. I would totally. You get like a Bortus with a removable mustache. Yeah, I would get some Orville merchandise. I want the ship. I want the ship. Thank you guys for the super chat. I'm going to get to the other super chat. Look on your Facebook page. I video you on my TV. Oh, you're watching me on the TV? Oh boy. Sorry. Probably see all the gray hairs in my beard. What do you think of Kevin Smith's scoop of the Secret Justice League trilogy, which was planned by Zack Snyder and Jim Lee? Lemac, Jim Lee is a nice person. Creatively, I don't want him anywhere near DC Comics anymore. He's kind of a hack creatively. Okay. He invented a comic book called Wildcats. All right. He doesn't finish anything. Yeah. I didn't know. He's not that great of a businessman. His smartest business move was selling Wildstorm to DC. I'm not a huge Jim Lee fan as far as running DC Comics. Dan Didio, meh. I did see about that. It was very interesting, and I did watch that video. But you know what? They probably should have just let him finish, and it might have turned out okay, but I don't think so. Plus, like, listen, his daughter committed suicide. There was no way that guy was going to finish it. He did the right thing. Okay. You got to feel bad. DC tried, Lemac. They really tried. They just put, like CBS, not that there's some innocent party, but they pay out money. They trust people. These people have to execute. And if they don't execute right away, of course they have to back them because they've already got so much money invested in them. Do you think CBS is freaking happy that they invested all this money in the Kurtzman, and then they see like guys like me and Doomcock and stuff making videos and then getting thousands of views on it? You know, I do an oopsie video, and where's it at now? I think it's 180,000 views, and it's getting shared by Bounding into Comics and all over the place, and like, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, they cannot be happy. Completely disagree when Nerdrotic, when Suicide Squad cut to Joker and Harley and Bad Romance didn't start playing. I knew they weren't committing to the bit. Unwatchable movie. I didn't say it was good. Dr. Meatball. I said I like the first 15 minutes when they're doing the character intros, and then it goes to crap, complete crap after that. But I like the idea of it more than the execution. But David Ayer, in his defense, was given 3 months to write that script. I actually prefer the effects on the Orville. Apparently, they use a lot of practical effects and cameras for the ships, not straight CG. Looks way better than STD to me. Plus, you can see it. Loquacious Primate, I completely agree. All that fancy Star Trek Discovery special effects, I challenge anybody to pause and give me a clear picture. When something's, when they're in movement, there's so much motion blur that it makes stuff that looks halfway decent look better than it really is. And it's really dark. The Orville is bright. They had those two binary or dwarf stars. I'm sorry, dwarf stars. And that looked great. It looked great. No, it doesn't look perfect. I don't need it to look perfect. I don't. I need it to be good. Justice League 2, Legion of Doom will be better. You know when Justice League 2 is coming out, Nihilus? In about 8 years. 6 to 8 years. We're not getting a Justice League movie anytime soon. They're going to be doing some solo movies. They need to reestablish Superman. They're supposedly coming out with a Supergirl movie, and that's a priority over Superman. I just love the way the Orville is setting things up for the future. It's done right. They seeded hints with Isaac and Claire throughout earlier episodes. Don't mind me. Agreed. So well done. And they did it right. So these hints weren't like hitting you over the head. They were dropped about 2 or 3 times, enough to where you remember it. But the thing is that, Star Trek Discovery gives all this goddamn lip service about family, and it doesn't feel like family at all. The Orville feels like family. $5 super chat. Zarkon Dear Grissom. Lens flare and motion blur are tricks to hide bad CG. Exactly. And it's an old trick. They had to do it back when, Lord of the Rings came out. There's tons of it because they had to hide it, and it looked good back then, but we're in 2019. You don't need to do that shit. You really don't. Look at the goddamn Infinity War special effects. Holy shit. I was watching those on my 4K TV, and God, those are great. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, whether you like the movie or not like it, the effects were amazing. And those are all damn CG. Yeah, I prefer practical too, especially with the ships. It was so funny. Nerdrotic Jr. was watching the Star Wars trilogy. Now, he's seen bits and pieces of it before, but he's never sat through the whole thing and comprehended it and so he's at the perfect age to sit down and like get what's going on. Okay. Not just like, oh, Chewbacca's cool stuff. So he's 13 on his own. He wanted to watch the Star Wars trilogy. I'm like, cool. So he puts it on, watches the damn thing all day. And he's looking at the effects of, at the beginning of Jedi. And he's like, did they redo this part? And I'm like, yeah, they redid little parts for it, but this is essentially, kind of what it looked like. It looked a little rougher. So I showed him some stuff that the older, and he was like really impressed. I'm like, yeah, the effects were pretty good. That's why this movie did well, because the effects look good, but this is practical effects, and that's the big difference. The best example in the world. I can't wait till he's old enough to see the original Blade Runner and Douglas Trumbull. Those are truly, it's beauty. It's just pure beauty. Star Trek Discovery is I'm telling you, the catering sucks on that thing. That's how bad it is. The characters on the Orville are people you actually want to spend time with, not watch die. Loquacious primate, indeed. Listen, this week's Orville was great because it really focused on Dr. Finn, like a character on the surface people would probably find boring but Dr. Finn, like every character is played with humanity. So I don't know, something that makes them endears yourself to them. They're charming. They're all charming because Dr. Finn isn't a know-it-all. I won't say the word. She's cool. She's cool. So, and then that whole Isaac thing, and yes, oh my God, yeah, it was done before with Data, and this has been done a million times. I know. Guess what? Every story has been done a million times. Using that logic, any story based on true events isn't pure enough. So forget it. Save that stuff. It's a Star Trek parody. How do you parody Star Trek? By parodying the episodes, the actual episodes. You aren't just a parody in tone. They have to actually, especially in the first couple of seasons while you're still trying to find your feet, you have to pine off of Star Trek episodes. I figure in season 3 and 4, it might start expanding out and doing its own thing. A great example is Venture Brothers. Great cartoon. It's a parody, but it's expanded into its own thing in the later seasons. That's what Orville can do. It's a better written show. Just because it looks like it costs a little less and it's on a network and it might be kind of sitcom-y doesn't mean it isn't better in every way, shape, or form than Star Trek Discovery, because it is. For one, we can see the inside of the ship. We actually give a crap about our characters, every single one of them. If cybernetic girl with the redhead, the cute one with the thing around her eye, if she left or died, would you feel anything from Star Trek Discovery? Actually, I'm trying to think of a character you would feel anything other than joy. I would say the only Saru. If Saru died, I think you would get some genuine, almost emotion out of people. Everybody else, maybe Anthony Rapp's character, but no, nobody else. Nobody else. So Alara left, and that was horrible. It sucks. I'm pissed she's not on the show anymore, but I don't know. We'll see if I get used to Tala. I probably will. If your son ever gets naughty, you can threaten to take him to watch Star Trek Discovery Season 1 as punishment. Who better than that? It's better than the belt, says Thomas Williams. Somebody would call child services on me if I did that. I can't do that. I like my kid a lot. But no, it's a good point. The Terminator would think Isaac is the Mercury Man and bye-bye classic. Right? Dr. Finn reminds me of my aunt. Yeah, she's like the cool aunt. What's up, Mark C? What up, my man? Thank you for the super chat. Want funny? When clicking on this stream, I got an ad for Star Trek Discovery. Yeah. Oh, next time that happens, screen cap it for me, please. Because I've heard that's been happening. That is hilarious. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Thanks, Mark C. Did you get your Orville book from Amazon yet? Strawberry Hellcat. Yeah, wait a minute. I have not. Dun, 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 dun. Hang on, I can't check right now. I bet you it's still at the salon, Strawberry Hellcat, because I have my stuff sent to the salon. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it. I bought it on the air too. I'll get back to you on that one. The Orville book, it was like $27. Look, awesome. STD worst episode, Orville best episode so far, Karma CBS, damn straight, Jess Reed. And yeah, so if they give Star Trek Discovery season 3, and you'll hear the Trekkies, I will just say it will benefit me. It's not a good thing. And that's all you'll get. And they're just prolonging the inevitable. The show is not a success. A success is more 75% of your fan base is happy. I would call that a success, not 55% or 48%. I think it's more like 45%. And I'm not even going to say they're happy. I think half of the people who are backing Star Trek are just backing it because it's Star Trek and it's better than no Star Trek at all. And they really don't think, it's just a disposable thing to them. And that's fine. I got no problem with that. Zarkon D. Grissom for $5 more. Forgot. What is up with the 7 of 9 like Borg on Disco before the encounter with Borg in the TNG? That's a great point. I mean, she looks good. I like her makeup and everything. But that's like a pre-data. We can read this article real quick. Hang on. There's an article that supposedly explains why the technology. No, I can't find it now. I'm going to do another video. I'm going to do a separate video on that. There's a dumb article out there explaining why the technology is so different. Here's an article speculating on the Red Angel because nobody cares. Oh God, it's way too long. I'm trying to see if they break this down. It begs the question of a mysterious new creature. Seemed like it will feature quite prominently in the story arc of season 2. We only got 2 episodes into season 2 as of the writing of this article, but I thought it might be fun to open up a forum for we fans. Does anybody care? Okay. The preservers are attempting to preserve humanity. Okay. Don't care. The Iconians are meddling in affairs of a lesser species. Casey's Lucy left field theory. I think it's Michael Burnham. Oh my God, these people are just kissing ass. What did Jeremy call it on his video? Customer service, Disney customer service. It was a nice way of saying Disney ass kissing. God, does it really bring them clicks? I'm waiting for the website to wake up one day and see that, and I think a couple have done that. Bleeding Fool, Bounding into Comics, they're starting to do that. But, just seeing the growth on YouTube now, it's hard to, compete with the interaction and stuff. I think it's a dying medium, to be honest with you. God, like who's going to, I would have read that if it was a couple paragraphs. It's like 6 paragraphs long of bullshit. So yeah, I'm going to do a separate video on the explanation on why the tech looks so much better. Spoiler, it's because they wanted to do something cool. Perhaps the Red Angel is actually the bleeding prophet, the bleeding prophet from this series, and somehow CBS will vicariously succeed when Burnham defeats the Red Angel. Ron Hefner, that's funny. STD has violated canon in so many ways, it's hard to keep track. An artificial life form like her is on Data's level, but yet 90 years later in the TNG, Data needed Picard to defend all rights. Yeah, I have suggested that some hardcore Trekkers and Trekkies do a council, a one-time live stream. I mean, you get the Trek brainiacs on. So like Alec Peters, if he's willing to do it, and Doomcock and Annie Trekker, maybe Lore, and they break down piece by piece every bit of violated canon from beginning to now. I bet you it'll probably be a 3 to 4. Well, if Doomcock's on, it's going to be a 6-hour live stream, but you know what I mean. It has to be Michael Burnham. She is the only character of importance in the series. Harp, the radical moderator. Remember, with the Red Angel, it only comes to those people whose hearts are open enough to see it. Now, it haunted Spock, but it brought great peace to Michael Burnham because she is interpreting it correctly because of, well, female. Oh my God, where'd it go? Okay, I saw another super chat come in. Thomas Potts, do you know Seven was assimilated years before Q Hugh? Yeah, wasn't? Yeah. Before the whole, well, I know they did. What's the Raven? That happened. Did I know if I can't say I knew that. I just kind of figured, but I could have been wrong. Thanks, Thomas Potts, for $1.99. Unserm. Am I saying that right? You Unserm or Unserm? £5. I have to go soon. Can I get your thoughts on my earlier question? Did I? Oh my God. Listen, I am so sorry, Unserm. My apologies. I wish I could refund you your super chats. If you need me to shout anything out, ask me, because I totally passed this up. Hang on. Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question right now once I find it. My bad. How did I miss this? Hi, Gary. How could you fix Discovery if you couldn't cancel it? How much do you think they need for the 25% difference has to do with the canon clusterfucks? I think the 25% difference has, I would say, 25% to do with it, to be honest with you. I think the canon clusterfucks are simply people who don't care. Hollywood, one of the biggest, listen, maybe it was just me being naive, but one of the biggest misconceptions there is at Hollywood is these people actually work hard and research stuff. Stuntmen do, trainers do, post-production people too, the artists do, and to some extent, the costume makers and makeup. Those are all the hardest working craftspeople in the business, but they're also told what to do. They're also, they offer designs, but they're told what to do. The people who do the telling what to do, the executives, the Kurtzmans, they don't do shit. Kurtzman probably put in, you would think, like, I'm creating a franchise, I'm going to have to put in 16-hour days. No. There's a lot, and when they do meetings and get-togethers, there's a lot of fucking around. There's a lot of setting up and breaking down. There's a lot, like, there's not as much work getting done. So no, it would take serious time to go over all the Star Treks to get the canon right. There are things you could. It's a very expensive book, but there's the Star Trek Encyclopedia, the really expensive one. Buy that. That's a good start. It's a good start. Or I don't know, hire Mark Zickery, hire a consultant. But no, these people want to do it. Why? Because they're fucking egos. Excuse my language. They're egos. Kurtzman wants to roll in like, I know everything about everything. I went to my friend's house and watched Star Trek, so I'm an expert. I mean, it's what he said in the reviews. He didn't even watch Star Trek as a kid. He went to his friend's house and saw it on the TV. Well, shit. Like, I went to my friend's house and read his comics. I should be in charge of Marvel Comics now. It's bullshit. How would I change it? If I couldn't cancel it, I would write off Michael Burnham immediately. I would use the Red Angel, and I would go with the Reddit theory. That is Spock. He is affected by the red matter, and there's parts of him still alive. The reason he's going mad is because he's contacting himself, and he goes and fixes the timeline a la Deadpool style at the end of Deadpool 2. That is the only way you can fix it. And honestly, I wouldn't even say that's dumb. I would say that would bring a ton of people on board. If you said, okay, you know what? It existed in a different reality, and we're going to fix it. And we're going to use Spock to fix it. And then Spock is gone, and Michael Burnham is gone. And you keep Pike, and you keep the name Discovery, but you get rid of the ship and you go on the Enterprise with Pike and you follow him and number one around, and that's it. With Saru and Stamets, fucking Tilly, if you want to keep Tilly, I don't care. And that reality also erases the Klingons. One of the reasons for the change of the Klingons, this is second-hand info, okay? So take it as it is. But one of the reasons for the change of the Klingons was color. Has nothing to do with the actual, like, looking like a xenomorph and stuff, but they didn't want them to be that color anymore. They didn't want them to be like brown anymore. So that's how I would change it if I keep it on the air. I would, starring Anson Mount and Doug Jones and Anthony Rapp, Michelle Yeoh as the regular Georgiou. I had that was fine. Her playing like the stoic captain, she's much better suited for that. Her playing like sexy woman, agent section 31. That is some dumb stuff. I mean, it is dumb. Don't give me notes, she says at the end. Joel Tumburo, $5. And Ernst, I'm so sorry for missing that. I really apologize. That was bad. I get to rambling, and I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any more. Whew, that sucks. Bad YouTuber. Joel Tumburo, $5. The Red Angel should be William Shatner as Kirk, come to abolish the entire Kelvinverse, including all STD. Oh my God. And can we abolish generations too while we're at it? It was fun. Oh, Doug, if you're in there, you know how much I fucking hate that movie. Oh, hate Generations. But I actually hate Star Trek Discovery more than I hate Generations. Star Trek Disco needs Michael and Denise Okuda, a.k.a. Denise Okudo. Mark C. Should I really? Okay, I'm going to do it. If you guys want them, that's fine. I will announce it on Wednesday again. I've announced it before, but it will be on nerdrotic.com. I'm going to do a Disco Sucks t-shirt. I'm going to see how much I can get away with it. I know some parody shirts you can get away with stuff. I'm looking into if I can actually put the Starfleet symbol on there or not. Probably not, but I'm going to check. It's going to be limited release. It's going to say Nerdrotic on the back or something to the effect of this isn't my Star Trek or whatever. I'll work on some hashtag to put on the back. It's going to say Nerdrotic, and that t-shirt will be available Wednesday. So stay tuned for the next Nooner, and I'll have that up. I did have it up for a minute on Teespring. It got pulled down, but I think I can sell it like directly on my site. I'm fine. Nerdrotic t-shirts also are coming, the regular ones. Mega Jetty number one, $2 for meeting you on the High Council, dude. Hey, thanks for coming by and subscribing. Yeah, the being on the High Council was brilliant. Anna, that Star Wars girl. By the way, Anna, I am sorry I didn't do this sooner. Please check out Anna, that Star Wars girl. She is hilarious. She's this I don't want to say little. She is a nerd. She is a hardcore nerd who tries to tell us she has like she's a little shy, but go watch her live stream. She's like made for this stuff. So it was nice live streaming with Anna and meeting a new friend, and she is cool as hell. So please subscribe to that Star Wars girl, and she's legit. She's legit. And of course, Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers and EVS, thanks for letting me come in and sub for you guys. And of course, Jeff Hicks, thanks for inviting me on. It was a fucking honor, total honor. So it was so cool. And I was also on with Doomcock for a little while. So that was fun, man. I hope, be happy to do it again. Also, tomorrow night is the High Council. Make sure you guys tune in. I don't know what channel. Is it on EBS's channel? I think because it was on Geeks and Gamers last week. So I think it's on EBS. Yeah, definitely tune into the High Council. That's good stuff, man. That's quality entertainment. Get back to the chat here. Thank you again, Mega Jetty 1. I appreciate it. EVS is sick at the moment, so maybe you'll get another invite tomorrow. Oh, mild parallel. Get better, EVS. Why are you sick, man? Oh, too much soy? Just kidding. I'm just kidding, buddy. Just kidding. I want to talk to EVS someday. I was on a stream with him once, a long time ago on England Teens channel on I Love Comics. He was perfectly nice and funny. Nerdrotic, say little, she's tiny. Haha. Properly funny when she goes off on a rant though. Will Gentry is hilarious. Oh God, I was laughing my ass off. I was in line getting some Chinese food and she was like ripping freaking Star Wars Resistance, like ripping it, a proper new one. And I was like snort laughing. It was so funny. You see this, cute little, she looks super, I mean, she's super nice and cute. She's just ripping Star Wars a new one. I was like, God damn, that's great. I love it. Reveal Burnham as the focal point of the time aberration, which must correct. Her removal rewrites the timeline correctly. Steven, that's brilliant. Right there. Better than mine. She is the, it's kind of like removing, she's the time anomaly. She's the thing that needs to go. Oh, thanks, Penn Farm Girl. She links up my High Council appearance. That's awesome. Star Wars Antibiotic Resistance, right? Six Sail Combat, or Star Trek Discovery. We are the Fanicillin to the STD. You like that one? I came up with that one. People hate it. Anna rants are epic. They are. They're equally funny, but poignant. It's not like it's just her going, fuck this. I mean, she's got great points. She's a great channel. What do Star Trek fans want to show? Where to the show to go? I don't think Star Trek fans want the show to go absolutely backwards to that. I think you can absolutely modernize it. I think if you go over to Prelude to Axanar and take a look at that trailer, that's how you do it. I was watching, I know our boy Vic Minoa got in a little bit of Me Too trouble. I don't know anything about that, for sure. But I was watching a lot of Star Trek Continues the other day. Man, that was good. I love Star Trek Continues. It was so cool. What age will Picard be in the series? Bill, that's funny. Yeah, that's a good question because they said it's only 20, or it said 20 years. So didn't he play? Wasn't Picard older than he played? I honestly don't know for sure, but I heard that. I could be wrong. He has the flu. Get better, EVS. Lots of liquids. I'm sure Mrs. EVS is taking care of him. Red Angel is Captain Janeway because canon be damned. Dr. Beast on her. Her rant on Captain Marvel's trailer was awesome, says Simon Marino. Yes, it was. By the way, I will be getting the Captain Marvel. I promise you. I'm just waiting for the movie to come out. I got my tickets. So I am doing a live review on the 7th. So it's coming. I'm going to the preview night. It'll be late. So if you want to join me, and I'm going to have comics division on with me, and we are going to give our live thoughts. And then I will do a separate video. Any possibility of syndicating into something more of a network of channels like yours, Doomcox, and other similar channels? Or would that harm the individual flavors? Andre Merrick, that's a very good question. It's something we've all thought about. Honestly, I think it's good that we just stay friends. That's just me. Part of the reason that becomes, it'd be cool if, say if we had an investor come in and want to pay for it all. Yeah, sure. But we could not, none of us would want to compromise what we say. Don't tell me what to say ever. We're good. I don't know what benefit there is, but honestly, everybody works really hard on their own individual brand. So I think staying loosely affiliated is the best way to go. Plus the other advantages is why I don't fully associate with hashtags or anything. I will support some all the hell, but I've never put Comicsgate on my Twitter or any other associated. I'll say without respect, we reject. I like that one quite a bit when it's just a loose one, but when I can be just classified and put into the corner, when they could take a group of us and go, I mean, listen, I love EVS, but one of the bad things about Comicsgate, whether you're a fan of it or not, is it gets put into a corner a lot. And that narrative works, even though it's completely fucking wrong. Okay. But it works. And that's been one of, and that, that just happened. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. It's not EVS's fault at all. The same thing happened to Comicsgate. This is going to sound like a weird analogy. That happened to Ash versus Evil Dead when they were trying to get, when Susan was trying to get Bring Back Boomstick going. All right. There was a bunch of infighting. A bunch of infighting ruined what could have probably saved the TV show. So what happened with Comicsgate is it evolved. Okay. So it evolved and it evolved into, EVS, kind of coming in and taking it to the next level. And some people weren't happy with that. Some people saw things a different way. I never, people doing independent projects, and that's the punk rock thing I was talking about. I don't think that's sellout at all. Honestly, I think doing an Indiegogo with your own thing and trying to, instead of just bitching about something, actually trying to make it better. I think there's some, that's great. I fully support that. There's a point where we're just spinning our wheels. That's why I talked about with Star Trek Discovery. There will be a point where it's like, fuck it, I'm done. Fine, go have your dumb show. But I still think we're at the fighting phase right now where we can turn things around. If we're just quiet, then we're just going to get a season 3, and then Picard will be just like this shit. And yeah, so no, don't be quiet. I'm sure a lot of people would love for us to shut up. Good luck. Good luck with that. People have been trying to shut me up for years. Hey, come on. Sayquist, Star Trek continues, not just, for a fan film, it's brilliant. Okay. If you want to put it on the level of Star Trek, no, but it's fan made. As far as fan made projects are concerned, it's brilliant. That's what I think. But you look at it with different expectations. That's why I'm so much harder on Star Trek Discovery than Orville. Why? Because I pay $9.99 for that show. If it's behind a paywall, you best be giving me something freaking good. The Orville, I still get kind of free over the air. And guess what? It's better. Thank you for the $5. Here I get. But yeah, I think it's more than okay. Tala goes through Ponfar and wants Gordon. Title it Woman of Steel, Man of Kleenex. It'd be hilarious if done right. That'd be funny. That would be. Oh, do you think? Oh, man. I think you totally called it. I think those two are going to be. Gordon's been having a lot of trouble lately in that department. You think like he'll make Tala laugh. Because that's the key. The Big Red Bear. I really fail to understand how the F. Why did I put that out? How they could F this up so badly. I could think of a dozen things to do with the new TL or even canon. It's shameful. Yes. To screw it up this badly takes work. It takes a lot of work. That's why a lot of it's deliberate, in my opinion. Just remember the name Blue Shogun, my own superhero, who is Luke Skywalker and Superman. You might be adding him to your wall of geekdom in the future. Mega Jetty 1, I'd love to. That'd be brilliant. A McFarlane Blue Shogun, or maybe your own line. You got to have your own line of merchandise. That would be brilliant. I look forward to it. Nick Bravo, thanks for the $5. Big Red Bear, thank you for the Canadian $5. You guys are brilliant. Here we go. Comicsgate and all this same thing. Fans grow discontent and the creators double down against them, be it TV, movies, video games, and comics. Yep, Comicsgate was a natural progression from games, and then it's going in the TV. What happened to Comicsgate really is unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate because it was and it wasn't the fault for people trying. I think it sucked. And comics are now going to probably die. So they're going on their own, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I've actually backed some of those comics, so I look forward to seeing them. And they can take their time. Here's one guy telling you can take your time. I'd rather get something good. I'm not in a hurry. When I back something on Indiegogo or anything, I listen, if I get something great, it's more supporting the person doing the thing than anything, to me anyway. Gordon's alive. Flash Gordon's alive. Thomas Williams. Yes. That was our old theme song. When on some of the earlier audio podcasts, we did the battle from Flash Gordon. All right, folks. I have to go. It's been, oh my God. Yeah, dude, I've been going for a long time. Holy shit. I have got to go. I've got videos to make. I got to have an Orville video for you guys in 2 hours. That'll be a miracle. Remind me, is Alex Kurtzman involved in the Picard series? Yes. He's not running it though. The showrunner is Akiva Goldsman. Silhouetted animator, $2. Why the Last Man finally got ordered to series on FX. Probably because Legion got canceled. They're probably using the Legion money. I think Why the Last Man should have come out a decade ago, Silhouetted animator. I think its time is kind of past. But I'll still see it. It'll be finished. Yeah. So you guys take it easy. I can't run my Patreon video right now because I'm still making a new one. Thank you all so much. Thank you to the super chatters who were Silhouette and Animator, Nick Bravo, the Big Red Bear, Mega Jetty 1, Young Mac, Mark Jackson did a Reddit AMA on the Orville. You should go check it out. Thank you for the $5. I can't believe I missed that one. That came like 20 minutes ago. Damn it. I did it again. I will check it out. That's cool. Mark Jackson was great last episode. Mega Jetty 1, thank you again. Jess Reed, good to see you, my friend. Joel Tamburo, Unserm, Thomas Potts, Jess Reed, Zarkon D. Grissom, Mark C. Strawberry Hellcat, Zarkon D. Grissom, Zarkon D. Grissom, Zarkon D. Grissom, Zarkon D. Grissom, Lord Lovecat, Maze Mazamonte, John Smith, Kellen Dada, Zarkon D. Grissom, Tarak 79, Unserm, Sean Pellin, Tarak 79, The Hound, Nick Bravo, The Big Red Star, Zarkon D. Grissom, Silhouetted Animator, Captain Spire, Justin Doyle, Moose Hoot, LLC, Galactic Dude, Silhouetted Animator, Michael Alton, James Hardy, Thomas Potts, Silhouetted Animator, Strawberry Hellcat, JPRPH1, The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're feeling well today. The Big Red Bear, TK, Joel Tempuro, Elliot Nelson, Will I Am Bo, Kilroy was here, Michael Alton, Peter Davison and his lovely mother in Australia, Strawberry Hellcat, Sean Pellin, Brent Newman, Chris Persia. Woo, that was a lot of super chats. Thank you to everybody. Check out nerdrotic.com. I will be back Wednesday. We will have t-shirts. It will be lots of fun. In the meantime, you will be getting a Doctor Who video, an Orville video, and what other crazy crap comes along the way. Star Trek has been a treasure trove of unbelievably idiotic news. And watch for me once in a while. I'll be on Twitter. Saying hi to the nice people. So did I super chat that? Oops, sorry. Dude, it's awesome. It's oh man. Did I miss your last one? Boom, 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 boom. There's one that got deleted. Was that your last one, Mega Jet City? So there was $2 for meeting you on the High Council, dude. And then there was one that says, you missed my last super chat. I said, yeah. So there's one that got deleted. Here, I'll show you real quick before I go. If you put a naughty word in there, sometimes they delete them. Oh my God, what the hell's that? But if you look up, no, I don't want to share the chat, damn it. Here we go. You could try to repeat it in the chat, whatever you say, because if they're really hardcore about their super chats. So yeah, so that might be yours right there that got deleted towards the bottom there. See that? That might be you, Meg. So just repeat what you said before I go. Nerdrotic, can we have a t-shirt with your face on it? Because you look like my boss, and it'd be funny if I wore it to work. Is it like an effigy? If you could like punch it or something? I don't know. I don't want to. That's weird. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Maybe we could talk. Yeah, I don't. No, no. That reminds me of a story when, God, why am I blanking? His name was, I'm blanking on his name now. Some football player had his face painted on the bottom of his pool. That was weird. Thank you, Montana. I appreciate it. Kronos, thank you. Thomas Williams, you're awesome. Thank you much. Thundercats Ho, Simon Marino, Watch Counterpart, Save Counterpart. Oh, Nick Jones, $9.99 comes in at the end. I've got nothing important to add except thanks for the great content the mysterious YouTube algorithm sent me to you 2 weeks ago, and it's been great. Thanks. Nick Jones, thank you. I'm glad they sent something. Yeah, Penn, we're Mrs. Nerdrotic and I were talking about getting that store eventually put up on the website, because I was going to open a comic store, but now I can just do an online store. Maybe if you guys join Nerdrotic, you could get like discounts, and it's all like vintage, old, cool stuff. So yeah, and I'd like to have a T-shirt with the Nerdrotic symbol and glasses. Jay Hanna, done. Wednesday, it may be sooner. Keep an eye on the community side of YouTube. How the hell do I get? Did it get deleted? I didn't say anything bad. Just remember the name Blue Shogun. YouTube is lame sometimes, so they probably just thought you said something bad. My new homemade superhero. You should. You may be adding him to your wall. Okay, that was it. Oh, sorry, man. I apologize for YouTube. VR comic store for Oculus. There you go. All right, everybody. Have a great day. You won't have a comic book store anymore. Kronos, it depends. Marvel needs to change their act. I'll talk about it next live stream. And I'll bring up, there's one singular person at Marvel that while they're there, I don't want to help them make money. Now, if I do open one, it might be one that's just not going to have new releases. And we'll have a Nerdrotic studio in there, and we'll just sell vintage stuff. So it's still a possibility, but right now the channel's doing great, and comics are not. I'm sorry to say. All right, everybody, you have a great day, great evening. Thank you again. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness.